there! What you're about to see is the streamed version of my playthrough of Scarlet Hollow, a virtual horror novel. I streamed the first 4 chapters back during October of 2023, and while I normally wouldn't post entire chunks of streamed content on this channel, I wanted to be sure the episodes would be easily accessible for reference, especially once we get future chapters. Please keep in mind before the footage begins that Scarlet Hollow is a work of horror, and as such, it does come with content warnings. Episode 4 has the largest amount of potential content warnings out of any of the previous episodes. They are as follows: body horror, realistic gore, parental abuse, poisoning, non-consensual drug use, possible major character death, unreality, manipulation, loss of control, loss of self, parental death, car accidents, being held against one's will, guns, murder, matricide, depression, amputation, child amputation, auditory gore, stalking, implied sex, mutilation, possibly unwanted advances, decapitation, dismemberment, PTSD, gaslighting, animals in peril, burning alive, mental illness, needles, memory loss, and cannibalism. As much as I appreciate that you may want to support my channel, please make your mental health a priority. If any of the aforementioned content would make you uncomfortable in any way, consider watching any other video on my channel or anything that's listed in the YouTube sidebar. Please don't risk your mental health for a video game, whether you're playing that game yourself or watching somebody else play it. And with that out of the way, let's get to our feature presentation. Episode 4 awaits. Here we go, y'all. Are you ready? I don't know if I am. Would you like to see a recap before starting episode 4? Yes, we're gonna do a full recap just because it's been a couple of weeks and a lot has happened. So, just as a reminder, the long-lost cousin, the bad news, the 26 hours of bus rides with countless late-night stops and CD depots that would have felt unsafe even in the middle of the day. You wouldn't normally find yourself traveling like this, but your cousin bought the tickets. The funeral of Pearl and Scarlet, your cousin's mother and your aunt, seemed like something you shouldn't ignore, even considering your own late mother's rocky relationship with this side of the family. Welcome to our family's humble estate. Unfortunately, due to the current state of the house, only a few rooms will be safely accessible during your stay. I wouldn't go wandering anywhere else if you value your limbs. The floors have been known to give out. A single deer remains behind, staring down the beam of Stella's flashlight while Gretchen whines and pulls at her harness. Pain, rot, decay. Come on, you, whatever your name is. Grab that flashlight, help me line up a good shot. As the creatures in the tree lane grow louder and more numerous, Gretchen violently strains against her harness. You dive forward and scoop Gretchen into your arms just before she manages to wriggle out of her harness. Your eyes fixate on the dark tree line over Duke's shoulder. Damn it. Stella, keep an eye on them for us. Make sure they don't get into any more trouble. My grandmother called them ditchlings, and they are a terrible omen, a sign of great suffering and destruction to come. From the relative safety of your cousin's uncomfortable guest bed, the events of the past evening seem like something that happened to someone else. But you can still clearly picture the terror you felt in those moments. For now, you're safe. You're warm. Oh good, he's still here. This is Dustin. Dustin is best boy. Oh god, did not mean to do that. But listen, you better stay out of trouble today. I want you home by sunset. I don't want to hear complaints, just do what I ask and we won't have any more problems. Tabitha takes a few steps towards the door. Sunset. When he can fix you some of Sybil's new blend, maybe it'll calm you down a bit. I think you'll like today's mix. It's chaga and lemon balm. Should help ease your stress and tension. And if you feel like talking, I'll be all ears. I see you're a private person. I can respect that. You never know how someone might respond to hearing the truth of what you encountered last night. Have either of you seen Rosalina around town? I don't want to be a helicopter dad, but she has been answering my texts, and I want to make sure she isn't getting into trouble out there. Hi, Dr. Kelly. We were wondering if it would be okay if Reese could come hang out. Nothing strenuous, we promise. Whatever you two have planned is probably beyond what I can manage right now anyway. Stay home. Wait for the week to end. Don't keep putting yourself in the path of danger. This is all I ask. And this is Wayne. Wayne is sketchy as fuck and I don't trust him. You're interrupted by a sudden movement out of the corner of your eye. A girl carrying a bundle of snacks pops through a hole in the fence and disappears over the crest of the hill. She didn't. Guess the old Maxwell place doesn't cut it as a secret hangout spot these days. But the Shaw mine? The place was shut down like 100 years ago. After a collapse that killed over 100 people. Pull out your phone and dial your cousin. What is it? I'm in a meeting. A kid just snuck into the Shaw mine and figured you should know. What? Are you serious? Why do things keep happening to me? Also, why do you know about this? What the hell are you doing at my mines? Whatever, I'll head over there as soon as I can. Just stay where you are and wait for me, alright? God, I don't even know why I'm trying to reason with you. It's not like you'll listen. My dad's a foreman at the continuous mining facility. He says they only abandoned this mine because there wasn't enough coal left, so it's actually really safe, and we can hang out here whenever we want. Correction, your father was a foreman at the continuous mining facility. We'll see if he even has a job tomorrow morning. My dad says our house is haunted. Kanika is interrupted by a pair of thunderous knocks. Wait a second, where'd 3 of you run off to? Are you kidding me? There's something in the darkness before you that's much louder, though you don't hear it. But you can feel it in your chest, like the deep growl of a predator. What do you think you're doing? Get away from there! Your cousin dives towards you, but not before the light from your phone illuminates the chamber. That is like the first of those weird symbol things we've seen. Thyanel, are you alright? Wait, Becca and Alexis are still down there. You can't just leave them here. I know which way they were going. They'll listen to you this time, I promise. Your surroundings quake as the mine collapses around you. Tabitha doesn't say a word as the car cuts along the darkened road. You collapse into Tabitha's dusty guest bed, your head empty of thoughts. After your time in the Shaw mine, you barely even notice the dust. When you close your eyes, you see Rosalina's face, twisted with pain, staring up at you with tear-streaked cheeks. Trapped by powers beyond her control, terrified of what her now uncertain future would hold. There are 2 of them now. What happened to your glass house? Asshole squatter move in. Kick Dustin Mom out. As you're ready to leave, Janie approaches from the far side of the kitchen. Tabitha remains between the 2 of you, impatiently tapping her foot. Oh, Thyanel, before you go, I heard about what happened last night. I heard about it before Miss Tabitha mentioned it just now, and then I heard it again. I just wanted to say I'm so sorry you got caught up in that. I'll be praying for Oscar and poor little Rosalina. They're such sweethearts. Couldn't have happened to nicer people. Morning. New blend ready? Of course. Thyanel, if you'd like to keep Miles company, Tabitha and I will be just a minute. Oh, excuse me. Wait, you're Thyanel, aren't you? My name is Bo. I'm Duke's boy. Pleasure to meet you. Policeman told me you saw what happened to my daddy. Tabitha stops in front of a small house on a quiet hill just off of Main Street. Scarlet's on most of the houses out here. We rent them out to employees, just more convenient, you know? Her cousin pulls out a heavy set of keys from her pockets. She picks out one marked with a bright strip of green tape and unlocks the door. Come on in. Don't worry, it's empty. Yep. He is a dog. This is our mayor. You can tell this dog is the mayor from his little sash and fancy top hat. There's a regal air about him, almost as if he knows the position of authority he's been elected to. Before you can catch up to your companions, you're intercepted by a nervous man with a cross around his neck. Sounds like old Gretchen and the mayor may have some unresolved issues, wouldn't you say? I'm Pastor Daniel. I take it you're Thyanel? Everyone's been buzzing about you. I'm so sorry about your aunt, but I'm sure she's in a better place now. If you'd ever like to discuss your beliefs, my door is always open. The basement is what you might expect of a tortured artist who spends all his time confined to his studio. This is Reese, by the way. He's adorable. Discarded canvases line its edges, while the trash and sketches leak out from their piles at the corners of the room, hiding the bare cement floor. Ghoulish faces coat the walls in paint, sneering out at their creator. Your mom is so scary. Also, hi, Toxic Crow, how are you? She can be a little intense, kind of overprotective, which I guess makes sense. Anyway, make yourself comfortable. You'll have to forgive the mess. I've been distracted lately. I haven't been cleaning much. Dinner is already laid out. Dinner rolls, spaghetti, and a light salad. Kanika anxiously picks at her food. Stella is nervously talkative, and Reese is suddenly quiet and tense. His shoulders tight as his mother perches on the chair next to his. Dr. Kelly eyes all of you with a sharp, fierce gaze. So, we were talking about maybe watching a movie sometime this week? Well, Thyanel's still in town. We'll have to see how you're feeling. I can handle a movie, Doc. Yeah, we'll just sit downstairs in the dark. Reese is used to that. Sure, he'll be okay. You're always overestimating how much you're able to do, Reese. This is why you keep getting sick. If I get sick, so what? It's not like that's ever going to change. I'm sick every day, and I'm not getting any better. I don't want to spend the last few miserable years of my life holed up in the basement alone just because seeing my friends has been deemed too strenuous. I'm an adult, for God's sake. I can't believe I have to ask permission from my mom just to have friends over. Reese stops mid-sentence, wincing in pain and wrapping himself in his arms. Don't say things like that. I'm doing everything I can to try and fix... Silence as Dr. Kelly's eyes shoot open. Reese? Reese abruptly pulls himself from the table and leaves. Excited for the next several sessions, my new partnership with you in Exeter. Yes! I'm excited. Hey, you're just in time. Rosalina's situated in the back room. Alexis is gonna keep her company while we hopefully get this all sorted out. Oscar and Kanika startle as the door swings open. Seems I made it just in time. Let's get this show on the road. I don't have all night. Whoa. This is where I've seen it. It appears on top of the stain. Stella pulls back the carpet, revealing a hatch, the floor around it stained in reddish brown. I'm going for it. Wait, do you hear music? Movement stirs as a figure cloaked in shadow rises to attention. Stella? There you are. I would have found you sooner, but the resident clearly doesn't want me here. Doesn't seem to have the same issue with these miserable little parasites. Bottom feeders always manage to slip through the cracks, don't they? The sins of the father are to be laid upon the children. One of you must forfeit. It doesn't matter which. Bullshit! You and Tabitha come to in a basement, a mound of packed dirt in front of you. Your friends are nowhere to be seen, though Sybil remains standing on the stairwell, as if she's been patiently waiting for you to get up. The spirit's gone, the two of you are back, and both of you are whole. I have to admit, this is quite an unexpected outcome. Excellent work, Thyanel. I'm sorry, Thyanel, I don't think I can talk right now. I'll call you, okay? She hurries off down the road. Before I go, Sybil places a hand on your arm, holding you back for a minute. I'm sure you have questions after everything you saw tonight, but let's not get into it here. I think everyone could use a little rest and relaxation right now, yourself included. If you swing by the tea room sometime tomorrow, say early afternoon, you and I can have a little chat. I'll see you then, Thyanel. You don't even notice yourself entering the guest room and falling into bed. Suddenly, you're just there, buried under your family's musty covers. I honestly don't know, Toxic Road. That seems a bit concerning, honestly. 14? No, I don't. The spirit of Charles Shaw Jr. has been put to rest, but disaster still looms over the town of Scarlet Hollow. Still, tonight was a good night, and you fall asleep with a gentle, well-earned smile on your face. Wake up the next morning. You open your eyes. It's a new day. Last night seems so far away. You can almost pretend the horrors you witnessed in the annex were nothing but a nightmare, chased away by the harsh morning light. An involuntary shudder runs down your spine, but your thoughts are interrupted by the buzz of your phone on the nightstand. Text from Kanika. Hope you made it home okay? Haven't heard from Stella since last night. How about you? You check your messages. There's nothing from Stella. Let's call Stella. You dial Stella. Hey, what's up? Just kidding. I'm not able to come to the phone right now. This is actually recording my voice. This isn't really me. Technology, huh? Anyway, leave a message or don't. I never check this thing. The mailbox is full and can't accept messages at this time. Let's text Stella. Hey, I'm kind of worried after you ran off last night. Text me as soon as you get the chance. You wait for a few silent minutes. Your message sits undelivered. Okay, let's text back Kanika. I haven't heard from her either. Well, that's not good. I think we should try looking for her. Let's meet up in town. Looks like you have your morning plans in order. Let's check the closet. Make your way to the closet. That doll is in a different position. There's no denying it. The doll moved at some point since your most recent visit. But your long-dead relative's creepy doll isn't the only thing that's different. Someone was in here. Something to mull over for the rest of the day. Let's visit Dunstan. You open the drawers. They both have a bread now. Human is back! Maybe changed mind about eating us. Could be the end of Dustin and Dustin, Mom. I would never eat you. I love you. Dustin, Mom know better than to trust. When push come to shove, survival more important than friendship. Dustin, Mom spend too much time outside. It's different inside. There are enough bread for everyone here. No need eat friends. Dustin still have childhood innocence. Hope Dustin get to keep that innocence forever. I guess your glass house still has that squatter? Tried to reclaim glass house last night. Asshole squatter, too big and strong. Dustin Mom stand no chance. Might have to live in Dustin house forever. Human big and strong too. Probably more big and strong than asshole squatter. You fight? Give Dustin Mom glass house back? Can you tell me about this squatter? I want to know what I'm up against. Squatter have big sharp things on head. Nasty attitude. Fast, like bug, but big, like monster. Dustin shivers at Dustin Mom's description. Mom, brave. Human, be careful. But Dustin Mom would be eternally grateful to Human. Dustin, too. I should get going. Yay! Both opossums. That's that. Let's take a shower. Might as well take a shower before starting the rest of your day. Dustin Mom sounds like Rowan. Oh my god. Step into the guest bathroom and into the shower. Feels good to wash away the grime of last night's haunting, but eventually you'll have to leave this place and confront the rest of the day. In the meantime, you... Let's see. I think out of all of these, the door in the clinic is what my brain was going to go back to. Think about the door in the clinic. You're still drawn to it even now. You'll be going back there today, you're sure of it. Dustin is amazing. Dustin is, like, best character. This is how this character dies, by trying to confront a monster in what sounds like a greenhouse. I'm sure it'll be fine. You're done here. Turn off the faucet and dry yourself off. Okay, head downstairs. Time to face your cousin. You find her in the kitchen, shoulders hunched in a tight ball of anxiety. They're striking. This week of all weeks, as if I didn't have enough on my plate already. If history is anything to go off of here, it almost doesn't matter how strong the strike seems, this is Tabitha's battle to lose. There isn't a union in Scarlet Hollow, which means a proper strike isn't even legal. Your cousin can do pretty much whatever she wants. She could fire everyone and wait them out, for instance, or pick and choose her targets. Like she told you yesterday, she owns most of the houses in town, after all. There's a lot of ways she can apply pressure to resolve a strike. So, okay. Do you know what the strikers even want? I haven't seen a list of demands. I'm sure it's just the usual. Promise you that if any one of them were in my shoes for a month, they'd be singing a different tune. Let's see. You're in a really difficult spot right now. Gee, I hadn't noticed. Hopefully it'll all be over soon. Okay. Have you heard anything from Stella? I can't get hold of her. No, but that's not exactly newsworthy. I'm sure she's just processing what happened last night. We weren't the only ones who were traumatized. So, ghosts are real? Still can't get over that. I can. What does that actually change about anything? I still have a mind to run, and you still have a funeral to attend. Feels good, doesn't it? Getting rid of something our family left behind like that? Sure, but you did most of the heavy lifting there. What happens if I choose this? Hold on. Hold on. I'm saving real quick. Because I don't want her to hate me, but I want to see what happens if I click this. If the mine's in trouble, you should just sell it and sell the estate. Get out while you still can. Tabitha bristles. I'm not giving up like that. This is the Scarlet Mine. I'm not just gonna cash out on our family's legacy. Bringing the mine back to life one way or another. Alright, so you know what? We're gonna actually go back to that, because, oh shoot, I saved over it. I did not mean to do that. Whoops! Okay. Remain silent. Dawdled long enough. Stay safe. No more hijinks. But let me know if you get in trouble, okay? My cousin likes me. Like, this seems genuine. This legitimately seems genuine. Like, look at her face. This seems like genuine concern. My cousin likes me. Tabitha slips past you, her heavy boots thudding down the hall as she marches away to face her employees. Time to figure out the rest of your day. Let's talk to Frou-Frou, see what happens. You walk over to the cat. Oh, c'est toi. I can't pronounce this. I'm not going to. Thanks for not attacking the possums who live in my drawer. Hold on. Missed you last night, Frou-Frou. That makes fun of us. Will you ever let me pet you? And coat my fur in your disgusting human oils? No. Do you know anything about the stone carvings scattered around town? I am not here to be your Chien detective. Je suis un chat. I'm here to watch you flail about in the darkness. I'm not here to provide answers to whatever mysteries confound your feeble American mind. Thanks for not attacking the possums who live in my drawer. No, I'm just gonna nod respectfully to Frou-Frou. She scoffs, her tail twitching with annoyance. You can sense she's less annoyed than she usually is. Maybe she's getting used to you? Hi, Frou-Frou. Good talk. She scoffs as you turn away. Let's make a quick peanut butter and jelly. If Stella's MIA, who knows when you'll get the chance to eat. Make yourself a PB&J in anticipation for the long day ahead of you. That's that. Whatever kicked off Dustin's mom's in the garden right now. Better look into it before you head into town. The air is chilly today. The overcast sky hanging oppressively over the weed-choked flower beds. Yeah, that's why I didn't go with that dialogue option. I did not want her to try to eat the possums. Dustin and Dustin Mom are my friends, and I will not let her do that. Investigate the greenhouse. You start carefully picking your way through the underbrush. It doesn't take much effort to find a path. Cuttings of prickly raspberry bushes and tangled vines litter the ground around the greenhouse. The glass house, one could say. You step towards the door. It's sealed shut by a lock, but you catch a brief glimpse of a horned shadow through the ancient clouded glass. Try to talk to whatever's behind the door. What's your name, little guy? Goat. It's a goat? Why is there a goat in the greenhouse? Where did you come from? Farm. Used to live with other guys like me. Kinda miss them. Not that much. Don't gotta share anymore. What are you doing in the greenhouse? Human put me here. Can't complain. Pretty sweet digs, honestly. Stays nice and warm, and there's plenty of eats, too. Apparently a human put them there. Did that human have a brown coat and big boots? Coat, like, what, fur? Nah, not brown fur, yellow fur. Just on the top, like all you humans. Don't know what boots are, can't help you there. I want to know how you're Cinderella-ing this shit and talking to animals. Okay, so when you start this game, on a new save, you can choose 2 different traits that your character can have, and it unlocks different like dialogue options and things like that. One of them is talking to animals. And I've never played through this with that particular trait before, and I wanted to see what happened. So I can talk to animals now. It's a lot of fun, actually. Explore the lock. You examine the lock. It looks sturdy. You'll need some tools if you're gonna get this open. Maybe Stella or Kanika could lend a hand later. Guess I'll leave you to it then. See ya! Or not. Wild world out there. You've investigated the garden. With Stella missing, it's best not to keep Kanika waiting for much longer. Head to town. Exactly, Chibi. Exactly. You head to the front door and begin your trek to the town below. The sun shines through a thin layer of clouds, illuminating the path in a watery gray light. And oh my god, the fucking ditchlings! Oh my god. Do you see them? Y'all, do you see? Look at this! There's like 3 over here. 3 over here. There's at least 2 over here. 3. No, there's 3 up here. There's 1 up in here. What the fuck are they doing here? You can't help but feel countless eyes watching you from the tree line. A feeling that reminds you of your time in the woods with Stella. Ditchlings shouldn't be out in the middle of the day, though. They're getting bolder. So, supposedly, I read online there's a specific combination of traits you can take that lets you understand the ditchlings. I'm probably gonna do, like, a private playthrough and just see what happens. But I'm curious, honestly. As you continue to trek to town, you pause to stare out at the mountain range beyond the holler, contemplating a world that's blissfully unaware of the danger threatening the citizens of this tiny town. The world outside feels less real with each passing day, as the strange reality of what's happening in Scarlet Hollow gently uproots what you'd always taken to be the truths of our world. Your everyday worries seem distant, overshadowed by fear and dread that hasn't stopped building up since the moment you stepped off of that bus. It isn't long until your journey from the estate is over. You once again find yourself on the main street of Scarlet Hollow. Thyanel! Made it down the hill in one piece, thank God. I didn't realize there were so many of those ditchling things around, or I would have driven up to get you. Can't believe they're outside during the day. It feels wrong. Also, can we just take a second to appreciate Kanika's outfit? Can we just take a second to appreciate this? Like, look at her. Look at how cool she looks. Freaking love Kanika. Oh my goodness. Also, good lord, I just noticed that one ad time redemption thing for a second. My bad. Did not see that. But we're gonna keep going with this for a bit. Can't believe they're outside during the day. Feels wrong. How are you doing? Much better now that I'm with you. Oh no. Y'all, I can't. I can't. Look at how cute. Look at how cute. Me? Oh. Gosh, Thyanel, you're too much. But I feel better too, now that you're here. Even with everything we've been through, being around you somehow feels safe. So, how are you mentally? That's a great question. My concept of how the world works is being shattered a little more each day, so that's cool. Every day I feel more and more like I need to get out of this town before it swallows me whole, but I also keep feeling like there are too many reasons to stay. Like, right now, I can't leave until I know Stella's okay. With her folks gone, the only people she has are her friends. And as her bestie, I can't just let her go off running into the woods to get eaten by Bigfoot. My mom's just so chill right now, it's driving me nuts. She's not giving me any answers about that shit she pulled last night, it's just weird. Sorry, ranting. But thanks so much for asking. It was really thoughtful of you, and it helped to talk about. If you ever need someone to rant out to, be happy to return the favor. One of the dialogue options is your mom is definitely a witch. Okay, hold on. Saving. Real quick. Because Because I'm torn between some of these. Okay, so I'm not going with this last one because Sybil does seem nice, but like in a way that's too nice, if that makes sense. Like, she seems nice in a really too nice sort of way. Okay, so I'm supposed to see your mom at some point today. Maybe she'll finally shed some light on things. Your mom was the one who told us about ditchlings. If she's being tight-lipped, it's probably for a good reason. Or your mom is definitely a witch. It's not wrong, though. I mean... Okay, yes, technically. I honestly would not be surprised if her mom was actually a witch. Genuinely would not be surprised. But also, what do y'all think? Which one should we go with? I'm tempted to see what happens if I click on this, but I also don't know what'll happen if I do. Y'all want to see the witch, huh? Okay. Let's see what happens. Witch has it, then. Your mom is definitely a witch. Look at this face. Kanika laughs. My mom? The crystals and herbs lady? No way. I mean, if she were, that would mean everything I thought I knew was wrong and my whole life has been a lie. Oh no. I'm accidentally giving Kanika an existential crisis. Oh no. So, no, she's not a witch. Witches aren't real. Case closed. End of story. I'm supposed to see your mom at some point today. Maybe she'll finally shed some light on those things. I'm not sure what she's planning to tell you today. She couldn't have told all of us last night. Maybe she's gonna read your fortune. I should probably stop making fun of her whole New Age mystic vibe. Lots happened in the past couple of days. Still, there'll be plenty of time for tea after we've looked for Stella. So, ghosts, huh? Yeah, ghosts. I don't know about you, but I'm currently staving off a massive existential crisis about the state of matter and what being alive means. You would think, Gailey, you would think she would see the irony in that, but apparently not. But also, to be fair, there is a difference between, like, New Age witch and witch as it applies in this universe. You have any idea why Stella was... Okay, hold on. I'm still skeptical. There's gotta be a better explanation for what happened last night than ghosts are real and they hate me personally. I wonder if that means there's a heaven and hell. There's an afterlife. We should probably figure out who is right about it, shouldn't we? Most cultures on Earth have some kind of ghost in their myths, so it could mean anything. Heaven, hell, Hades, Valhalla, anything. Theory I've heard from people who believe in that sort of thing is that every now and then some particularly bad energy builds up in somebody that lingers after their death. So it could be that nobody is right and ghosts are basically like the echo of someone screaming as they fall down the Grand Canyon. Okay, but I kind of like that. Not really a person, just whatever's left of one slowly fading away. Or maybe one of the religions with an afterlife is right, though who knows how you'd possibly narrow that down. And if you ask me, that just doesn't seem like something a person should know. I was kind of surprised you reached out to me after all the issues between you and Tabitha. I care more about finding Stella than I do about the ongoing feud between me and your cousin. And I'm not going out there alone, because the last thing I want is to go missing while looking for somebody who went missing. We do everything in groups from now on. See, Kanika is smart about this. Someone manning this store while we go looking for Stella? Screw the general store, Mom can deal. Any leads on Stella? I haven't had a chance to talk to anyone else yet, so nope, none so far. She ran north last night, but that doesn't mean she didn't double back. Try not to worry too much. Possible she's safe somewhere, just not answering her phone, but I also don't want to bet on that. Guess we should get started. Yeah, Bird and Daylight. Where to first? Okay, let's see. You know what? Let's start at Stella's house first. That feels like a good call. Okay, let's go to Stella's house. Definitely. Probably should have done that before getting you to come all the way down here, but to be honest, I was scared of wandering off by myself, just in case I ran into any other horrors from beyond the veil. Great if this turns out to be nothing and she's just asleep in bed. You make your way towards Stella's house. Kanika knocks anxiously on the door. It creaks open. Nope! Nope! Fuck this! I'm not from around here. Is it normal for people to leave their doors open? Like that? Unlocked? Yeah. Hanging open? No way, that isn't normal. We should go in, right? Yeah, we should. Whatever happened to Stella, it doesn't look like it happened here. Okay, nothing unusual so far. Perfectly normal living room, no blood or viscera, not even tipped over lamp. That's good. Let's poke around the kitchen. Stella's kitchen is slightly messy. A couple of cabinets are hanging open, and a loaf of bread sits on the counter by a used butter knife. Looks normal to me. Stella's house has always felt a little sterile to me. This feels a little too lived in, if that makes sense. Though maybe that's just because I've only ever been over when she was already expecting me. Let's check Stella's room. You make your way down to the hall to what you assume to be Stella's room. She's not here. Though it's a little untidy, it's the usual sort of untidiness that accumulates when someone doesn't often have guests in their bedroom. There aren't signs of violence. Check her computer. You go to check Stella's computer. Not sure we should be snooping around on her computer. Isn't that an invasion of privacy? Oh my god! One of the dialogue options we can choose is, if Stella didn't want us to snoop, she shouldn't have gone missing. I don't make the rules. We're not gonna do that. Okay, hold on. Gonna save here. Because I have concern. Okay. Kanika, what if there's a clue when we miss it? What if we don't find Stella and it's all because we didn't snoop on her computer? Sure, snoop away. I'm not gonna take part in this. I'll just be over here, standing in the corner, not looking over your shoulder. Let me know if you find anything. Stella's desktop is horrifically cluttered. There's simply too many files and folders to fit on her monitor, and they overlap each other in a chaotic, multi-layered display. I don't know what I expected to see here, but it definitely wasn't this. How does she ever get anything done? I just noticed the Jersey Devil on the post-it up here. I love it. Let's sift through the chaos. You spent plenty of time with computers and are more than capable of sifting through the chaos of a messy desktop. One folder catches your eye. Boring tax stuff. Years of helping friends with their computers have made you all too familiar with this folder. Boring tax stuff never contains boring tax stuff. For that matter, it never contains anything related to taxes, and its contents are never boring. You open the folder. You're surprised to find it contains a carefully mapped out diagram of the Scarlet Hollow mines, including holes in fences and areas with low visibility. There's also a handful of old photos of Stella and Tabitha together as teenagers. Tabitha wears an uncharacteristic grin, an authentic, joyful smile, and Stella's eyes are somehow brighter, less tired. Both of them seem to be living in a happier time. Let's check our open tabs. It would take you all day to count the number of tabs in Stella's browser. So numerous are her tabs, you can't see a single icon. A sea of rounded, featureless triangles from the Windows Edge to Windows Edge. Her most recently opened tab is a post on Uncle Carl's Bigfoot Farm, a forum for cryptozoology enthusiasts. You visited Uncle Carl's Bigfoot Farm in the past. Despite the name and despite the fact that posters call themselves Carl's Big Feet, the community takes itself very seriously. It's one of the more consistently active cryptid boards on the web. The post in question is titled Something Big is Happening in Scarlet Hollow. Post from Hidden Appalachia, which I think is Stella. Hey everyone, was out chasing a skunk ape sighting the other day and I found these weird little guys. My friend's mom says there's something called ditchlings, but I've never heard of them before. Anyone have any good leads? Bride of Bigfoot responds, with camera isn't shaky enough, this is totally staged. Moth Stan. Clean footage and some sort of cryptid nobody's heard of except for your friend's mom. Only thing I'm seeing when I Google ditchlings is some city in England. Thought you were legit. Lucky Stars says, guys, since when did high-quality footage count as anything other than actual evidence? Those things are terrifying. Gary 2125479. Since every low-budget horror movie started using gear marketing, I smell an ARG. Hidden Appalachia. I'm serious. I've got tons of extra footage. Look at what they've been doing to the animals in town. They're apparently some sort of bad omen, like Mothman. Mothstan. Okay, I'm listening. I love me a Mothman. I believe you. Ugh, Lucky, you're falling right into a trap. I don't trust YouTubers. They're entertainers, not scientists. The thread continues into the next day. Hey, okay, so 1, this isn't an ARG. I would never. And 2, you're not going to believe this, but we went into an abandoned mine last night to investigate things. I'm pretty sure we found some Tommy knockers. Listen to this knocking we managed to catch on tape. There's a link to an audio file titled Tommy Knockers Real.wav. W-A-V. Just because you put the word real in your file name doesn't mean they're real. 2 supernatural events on back-to-back nights. This is so fake. Can't believe I bought into that River Runner hype. You're so full of it. YouTubers are always going to sell out to big indie horror. This is Kidnapped by Aliens all over again. Also, lol, doughy white things and out loud popping noises. This is definitely an ARG. Did you sell out to Pillsbury? Stop cyberbullying her or I'm gonna call the mods. Uncle Carl, locking this thread and giving everyone a 7-day ban. No cyberbullying and no self-promo. The thread ends. Check her search history. Check Stella's search history. She hasn't visited any websites since Tuesday night. If she came home after last night's incident, she didn't touch her browser. Her search history is almost entirely work-related, a furious series of queries for various monsters and cryptids that might fit the profile of ditchlings. That's that. Okay, I think we've seen enough. God. Sure looks like a room. Any thoughts? It's a mess. Think there was a struggle in here? This isn't a mess, this is tidy chaos. It's what her room's been like for pretty much the entire time I've known her. Only thing that's changed is the computer getting a lot fancier. Oh, she still does those corkboard with string things. She loves putting the strings on there. I don't think they'll actually mean anything, but they're more for decoration anyway. Okay, I don't think we're gonna find much else here. Let's move on. Okay, so she's not here, and we have no idea where she is. I was overreacting this morning. Thought she would have just been sleeping in or something. I can't believe she's actually missing. Where to next? We should go to the cops, right? That's not a terrible idea. Sure, they won't be much help, but we are dealing with a missing person. That's cop stuff. Hopefully they don't give you a hard time. They've been really on your ass. The police station is exactly what you would expect from a town the size of Scarlet Hollow. It smells strongly of coffee, and faintly of aged furniture and paper, and the general tidiness speaks of a department that doesn't get much of anything done. Hello, Pocket Leaguer, how are you? But you're also not alone here. You entered to find a worried Bo standing between you and the officers behind the desk. Let me get this straight. You're trying to report a missing pumpkin? Big Betty wasn't just a pumpkin, Sheriff Hugby, sir. She was going to be a prize winner. Raising her was the last thing me and my daddy did together. She's important to me. Are you sure it was Julius and not some enterprising bear that got hold of it? Y'all know Julius thinks that land belongs to him. Probably thought Big Betty was his to take. Ain't coming to his door, so for all I know, he might be all the way to the state fair by now with our pumpkin. Ain't there something y'all can do about it? Okay, that sounds fun. No Halloween parties in my future, sadly, but that does sound fun, though. I'm afraid we need at least some kind of evidence to go on before we go barging into a man's home, son. Why don't you see if you can find something a little more solid for us to go on? Then we can see about helping you out. Oh god. One of these dialogue options is weird question. Are you folks part of a cult, and is that why you aren't doing your job? I mean, that sounds fun too, to be honest. Bo, did you manage to find your dad? Bo's stoic expression breaks. For a moment, you can almost see tears forming in his eyes, but he blinks them away. Yeah. Found him. You're that, Deputy Franklin? Sounds like you've got another report to close. Lucky me. Gather what was there to gather, giving him a proper burial in the family plot. Been tough going trying to dig the hole while the farm's crawling with those hairless things, but needs to get done. You think they'll go back where they came from soon? Mom and me try to find them back best we can, but it seems like there's more every minute. Know about as much as you. Can't help but feel like all leading up to some awful thing. Worse than what's already happened. Hope it's just a feeling. My mom did say the ditchlings are supposed to be some horrible omen, but that doesn't mean it's true. For all we know, weird stuff is behind us, and those creepy little things will crawl back to wherever they came from, and Scarlet Hollow will go back to normal. But I guess it doesn't hurt to plan for the worst. What's all this about a pumpkin? See, his Bo here misplaced a considerably large pumpkin. Have y'all heard a word I said? I didn't misplace Big Betty. She was stolen. I know who done it, so I'd appreciate it if y'all would give Mr. Tremaine a visit and set things straight. And I'm telling you, we can't barge into your neighbor's house just because you want us to. Oh, I remember this. The Tremaines and Calloway split some land between them after a rift in the family, right? Just couldn't get along with our side of the family. Made up a whole new property line, decided anything that grew on their side of it belonged to them, and they didn't let us Calloways touch none of it. All this happened generations ago. They kept it up all this time. Neither one of them wants to be the one to finally bury the hatchet. I'd try if it weren't such an angry man. Could abide by living next to somebody he ain't friendly with, but stealing just for the sake of it is low. What makes you think Mr. Tremaine stole it? You're poking a wasp nest, Thyanel. There's 100 years of history here. He's been claiming Big Betty was his since day one, and the county thinks it was planted on his side of the property. Calloways and Tremaines have been at this a long time. Can never agree on whose land's whose. It ain't the first time we've heard something like this. We get our fair share of calls from Julius Tremaine, too. Sorry for everything that's happened, Bo. I don't want to poke at this anymore. This feels like a bad plan. Appreciate that. Thank you. Try not to let it get to me. Gotta be strong for Mama now that it's just the two of us. So Stella ran off last night. She's still missing. She isn't at home. None of us have heard from her. She what now? Oh, it's just our Stella always running off. Wouldn't worry too much about it. She'll turn up. This is different, Earl. You know I wouldn't be up here bothering you if it wasn't important. There are a lot of them things out there. Too many of them. Yeah, Bo's right. She should be off on her own when there's so many ditchlings creeping around in broad daylight. Ditchlings? Gotta be them creepy little things I told y'all about. Called about them last night, too, since they've been coming up out of the woods onto the farm. Even saw some on my way here, plain as day. We've been getting a lot of calls about those. Guess Scarlet Hollow's either been invaded by ghouls or we're all suffering some kind of mass hallucination. Maybe even seen one or two myself. All the same, I don't see what we're supposed to do about them or about Stella. She's a grown woman. If she wants to go off to the woods for a bit, we don't need to go after her like she's missed curfew. It's a free country. If there are critters bothering folks and stealing livestock, ain't y'all supposed to take care of them? Now, son, we ain't animal control, we're the police. Are you kidding me? This town doesn't even have an animal control department. Well, maybe it should get one. Ugh. Just gonna remain silent for a second. Ugh. Well, that was a total waste of time. Hope Bo finds his pumpkin. Where to next? Okay. So, we're gonna go explore the rest of these. However, it is 3:30, so we're going to take our midstream break here. So folks, please feel free to get up, move around, make sure you have a drink or a snack if you need one. As an example, I will be getting myself some more water, because hydrate or dihydrate. And surprisingly, I am almost out of water. Which, hold on. Let me just remind y'all.
Get yourself some fucking water.
Oh no, okay. I'll probably look at it after stream, Gaily, but I'm a little concerned, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so we're gonna take a break here, folks. Make sure you get up, move around, get yourself a drink or a snack if you need one. We'll be back in like 5-10 minutes or so. I will be running some Twitch ads while I'm away from the keyboard, but you're not gonna miss anything. They're legitimately just going to be while I'm AFK. Okay, be right back. Please enjoy the ambient sounds from the town center of Scarlet Hollow while I'm gone. We are back. It is fine. Just as a reminder real quick before I bring us back up to the game. Okay. Now, we are trying to raise some money for, Stream for a Cause. Again, please check out the pinned comment for that. But yes, we're back. And let's see. Let's go and check in on Oscar. Maybe he'll have... no, let's look at the diner first, because I first saw her in the diner, so maybe there? Let's check out the diner. Good idea. Folk tend to congregate there. Maybe we'll run into somebody who's seen Stella. Feels like you walked into a private meeting. The back booth is full of miners, and they're having what seems like an intense discussion. Their expressions gravely serious. Hey! It's Thyanel and Kanika, long time no see. Hope the town's been treating you well. Are we interrupting something? Of course not, everyone's welcome here, just, careful not to step on any toes. Things have gotten a little tense over the past couple of days. The miners in back were too engaged in conversation to notice you enter. Instead of speaking in hushed voices, they argue with each other loudly enough for you to easily overhear. Sure, the shift schedules are tough, but sure, we don't get enough time off for me to see my family as often as I'd like. But this is the best job I can get right now. Listen, kid, you're only a year or so into this gig. Trust me, longer it goes on, more it sucks the life out of you. First, you're just unhappy, but you think you can weather it till you find something better. Paycheck's a paycheck, I get it. The next thing you know, you've lost years of your life to a company that doesn't give a solitary shit about you, uses up every free second it can suck out of its workers, and pays us just enough to survive, but not so much that we can ever save enough to get the hell out. Wow! Okay, that feels too real. That feels too real. Oh my god. Also, that one hurt. That hurt a bit. Like, ow. That hurt. Wow, okay. Zax, we could get fired for this. I really need the paycheck. My sister needs the paycheck. I'm the only reason she can afford her tuition right now. I can't get fired. And this job still has its perks, like the company housing. Can't afford my own place and send money back home. I don't know where I would live if I didn't have this job. Right, company housing. How generous of the big boss to put you up in a company-owned shack that ain't had proper maintenance done in decades. No, she uses that housing as an excuse to pay us less. Company housing that means almost nobody in this whole damn town owns the place they live. That's why the Scarlets can keep getting away with whatever they want. Zax, we don't have the numbers, man. You know this is risky. Riskier than most of us can afford. We would have the numbers if y'all would stand with me and not let management's scare tactics get to you. It's not scare tactics. People like her now. The woman ran into a collapsing coal mine and saved 3 children from being buried alive. I feel you. I really do. How are we supposed to organize a strike against a town hero? Are you trying to tell me a mine collapsing less than 2 days ago is why you don't want to strike? It's a bad time, Zax. It's always a bad time, Baker. Doesn't matter whose name is on the deed for the place, without us there is no mine. We got him against the ropes, can't back down now or they'll come out swinging. Hey, have any of you seen Stella? She's missing. The miners turn towards the doorway, all eyes glaring at you in unison. The YouTuber? Ain't seen her. Harrison's voice drops to a barely audible mumble. She's okay. Hasn't been around, but I'll let you know if I hear anything. Hey, Avery, you have a minute to catch up? You angling at something? Oh, come on now, Zax, this is a free establishment. Step outside. Could use some fresh air. Avery pauses for a second. I've been seeing these little blob guys everywhere. Y'all know about them, right? Should I be concerned? Yeah, they're called ditchlings. Mom says they're an omen for a coming disaster, which I don't exactly buy, but they've been killing local animals. Did you say you don't exactly buy it? Is the town Scully saying she believes in something supernatural? Look, we've seen some things the past couple of days. Okay, now I'm really worried. I don't think humans have much to worry about, just animals. Just been using wild animals so far. Honestly, kind of worried they'll eventually gonna run out of hosts. Maybe they don't prefer people, but what are they gonna do when there aren't any animals left in Scarlet Hollow? Now, is that all they do? That's fine, they can nest in me if they want, that's cool. I thought they'd be eating people or something. Are you serious? Big uses of walking nursery sounds so much worse than just being eaten. Look, if they need a warm place to pupate and I have skin to spare, who am I to deny them? Ugh, that's so gross. Without a feeling something like wriggling under your skin, stealing your nutrients until it eventually erupts out of you. Kanika shudders. Sounds like the miracle of life to me. You're yanking us around, right? Maybe. Anyway, shouldn't get too off topic. Wanted to chat? What did you make of all the stuff going down with the miners? Strike? I'm all for it. Workers seem to be pretty split. Might be an uphill struggle for them, but glad they decided to set up shop in the diner. Happy to support in any way we can, even if that's just by making sure they have a steady supply of caffeine. Same, Chibi. Same. Hope I can convince her to actually hear folks out. Shouldn't be that hard to make everyone happy, right? You have way too much faith in that woman if you think she'll just give in. You never know. Maybe Thyanel coming into town's a chance for her to turn over a new leaf. I'll believe that when I see it. Yeah, exactly, Yumi. Exactly. Have you noticed anything weird going on around town? Aside from the ditchlings, that is? Avery pauses, thinking for a minute. I don't think it's supernatural, but I haven't seen Julius since Tuesday, which is pretty unusual. Never skips the diner 2 days in a row unless he's out of town or something. And maybe he is. I don't know him well enough that he shares his weekend plans with me or anything. Julius Tremaine, the guy who's been accused of stealing the Callaway's giant pumpkin? He has? Oh no, they really love that pumpkin. Will comes by my garden sometimes. It was all he could talk about for the past month. Poor kid. First Duke and now this. Julius is missing. Noted. I don't like the thought of more people disappearing right now. Like I said, he might just be out of town, but he's kind of an old dude. Maybe it couldn't hurt to have somebody check on his house, see if he's there or not. Try to do that before my shift tomorrow. Do you have any idea where Stella might have gone? Nope, not at all. I'll let you know if I hear something. Last night was an ordeal for all of us. I think she was especially shaken up. She just ran off without saying anything. We're pretty worried. Should probably get back to it. Totally. Sure you're both antsy to get back to looking for Stella. Won't keep you. Avery heads back inside, and you and Kanika return to Main Street to plan your next move. Still no sign of Stella. Check in on Oscar. He's smart. Maybe he'll know. I hope nothing else happened after we all went home last night. So brave for sleeping in that house after everything we went through. Rather sleep in the woods with a ditchling than someplace that was that haunted. Morning light streams in through the library's large windows. In the bright daylight, it's once again a place of comfort, all menace having fled in the wake of Charles Shaw Jr.'s departure. No ghost, thank God. I was not up for an encore. You can't help but overhear the murmurings of an intense conversation coming from the mayor's office. Or rather, the murmurings of an intense animal conversation. Let's investigate. You start making your way upstairs toward the mayor's office. Hey, where are you going? A small gang of dogs holds court in the mayor's office. Most of the dogs quietly watch from the sidelines, but two of them, a sheepdog and a basset hound, are in heated conversation with Mayor Jimmy. Their tags read Scraps and Daisy. Sounds like you've all sorted this out. I don't see what you need me to do about any of it. Sorted? Things ain't sorted till this town's safe. Now, we may got the beginnings of a militia together, but there's plenty of pets out there who are still ill-informed about those things crawling out of the woods. You're the mayor. They'll listen to you. Just tell them to stay inside till it's handled. Listen, Scraps, buddy, I hear you. Last thing we need right now is anarchy in the streets. That's no use. I told you he'd be bullheaded. He's always bullheaded. Always a sore loser, aren't we, Daisy? Things are fine. Nobody has to worry about a thing. The mayor pulls himself away from the conversation to acknowledge you. Oh, I remember you. You're that out-of-towner from yesterday, the speaker. The other dogs murmur among themselves for a moment, then turn to face you. Sorry you had to see this little display. Politics can get so messy. Gretchen really admires you, Scraps. Oh, she flatters me. I'm nothing special, just another dog. Oh, don't be so modest, Scraps. You're the kind of dog other dogs listen to. Damn shame humans are so charmed by that charlatan. I'm right here, Daisy. I'm well aware. You think you're so high and mighty, don't you? Just because you can sit and stay the best, as if obedience is the best quality in a leader. Are y'all some kind of dog militia? Did I hear that right? Yeah, I suppose you could say that. When the town's illustrious leader abandons his kind, it's up to us common folk to band together. Daisy, please, I'm not abandoning anybody, dog or otherwise. You're all blowing this invasion story completely out of proportion. Everything is going to turn out just fine. If everything turns out just fine, it's because the rest of us protected those who need protected. I know, right, Gailey? Damn. Have any of you seen or smelled Gretchen? She and her person are missing. Is she missing? Oh dear. Scraps, you don't think... Gretchen's person would never let that happen to her. Wherever she is, I'm sure she's safe from those things. A dog like her doesn't get to be that age without a watchful human at her side. Well, even if she's safe, I don't like the sound of this. See, Jimmy? This is the cost of inaction. Gretchen is a pillar of our community, and she's missing. I love that Gretchen is a pillar of the dog community. What will it take for you to finally open your eyes and do something? If you wait until you're the last dog left in Scarlet Hollow, it'll be far too late to save yourself. Yes, I get it. You're all very upset. But what do you expect me to do about it? Shut down the town? What about economy? Do you even know what economy is, Jimmy? Or are you just throwing around fancy words you've heard the humans say? Of course I know what economy is. I know all about economyism. Oh, good, because I've never understood a lick of it when humans talk about economy. I just figured it was a made-up word they yell at each other when they want to stop talking. So please enlighten us. I'm not going to debase myself by playing a game of trivia, not in front of the speaker. Thought so. To answer your question, we did catch a whiff right around here and another near her house. Haven't picked up anything around town since then. Let's hope those creatures haven't already gotten to her. Can you help us find her? You've got better noses for this sort of thing. We'll do our best. Didn't intend to make any more trips out into the woods, but if it's for Gretchen, we'll take that risk. She's a well-liked dog in these parts, been around longer than any of us. We have bloated the community for her to fall victim to those monstrosities. Okay. Hold on. Let's see, what are our dialogue options here? Okay, I need to do this. So, you're the Scraps I've heard so much about. One and only. This here's Daisy. Got a few other concerned locals with us as well, just making sure the cats and dogs of the Holler are well cared for, considering recent events. There are more of those things in the woods every day, popping out of the innocent bodies of what used to be dogs like us. They're exaggerating, of course. Heard reports of creatures coming out of the woods, nothing the humans in this town can't handle. No secret that Daisy and Scraps are my competitors. It's just like them to jump at the first sign of trouble as an opportunity to run me out of office. Nobody's trying to run you out of anything. We're just trying to keep the critters of the town safe. How very noble of you. But that's exactly the line you'd feed the voters if you were trying to get rid of me. Okay, hold on. There must be some way here everyone here can work together. Panic in the streets would be bad for everybody, but we can't just not do anything about the ditchlings. I don't think there's much compromising here. Mayor's either in or he's out, and it sounds to me like he's out. I told you this would be a waste of time, Scraps. I should have listened to you. Let's go, shall we? Excellent. Office hours are officially over. Do you close the door behind you? I'm overdue for my appointment with a nap. You and the dogs exit the mayor's office and close the door behind you. They quickly turn a corner and vanish from your line of sight. You find Kanika waiting for you in the lobby. You just had a full-on conversation with those dogs. Sure, if ghosts are real, then why can't animal whispering be real too? Kanika sighs, muttering to herself. Knowing dogs are capable of carrying on an actual conversation is going to make being a veterinarian really weird. I guess Oscar must be in the back. That's where I'd be if I finally managed to unhaunt my house. Let's go. You make your way back towards the annex. It feels strange to be back here in the light of day, as if the events of the previous evening were all just a terrible dream. Okay, this hallway creeps me out. Kanika knocks on the door. Oh, morning! So good to see all of you. Please come on in. Doing real great, Rosalina. Not a lot of kids your age can take shots that well. You're being so brave. You don't have to talk to me like I'm 5. But you are brave. You really are, Rosalina. You're, like, so badass. Alexis is right. It's more than most people have to deal with in their whole lives, and here you are taking it like a champ. Dr. Kelly's kind demeanor vanishes as she turns and glares at you. Oh, I see we have visitors. How you doing, Rosalina? Tired. My leg hurts a lot. Medicine's helping. It's not so bad now. Plus, I got to lie down in an actual bed last night. You have no idea how good that felt. Thanks, Thyanel. Can't believe you got any sleep last night after all that ghost stuff. I just sat on the couch with all the lights on. I don't think I slept at all. I really needed some rest after, the hospital and my foot. Your body is desperately trying to get you rest. All that activity yesterday was pretty brutal on your injury. It's never going to stop hurting if you keep pushing yourself. So, what are you not going to do today? Anything? That's right, you're staying right here. No walking around, no investigating haunted houses. Sorry, Dr. Kelly, I should have been better at stopping her. I take full responsibility. As her father, I should have... No need for anyone to step in and take the blame for anything. It's the hospital's fault for sending her home at all. Gross negligence, if you ask me. But give it time, then you can do all the activities you want. All right, Rosalina? I'm guessing Charlie didn't come back for an encore? Not as far as I know. Slept in Rosalina's room, made sure to put some heavy objects on top of the hatch just to give myself a little extra peace of mind. But nothing happened. Good enough for me. I didn't see anything either, but even if something did happen, I wouldn't know. I was asleep as soon as my head hit the pillow. Too tired to worry about ghosts anymore, to be honest. Losing a limb will do that, especially if you decide to tromp around the next day like nothing happened. I would have been fine if it weren't for Charlie. Good thing he's gone then, and let's hope he stays gone. Wait, Oscar, did you tell Dr. Kelly about... Yeah, told her everything. He did. I'm sorry that happened. Dr. Kelly's steel gaze is impenetrable. It's impossible to tell if she genuinely believes Oscar's story or if she decided she'd be better off humoring him. You know what? I have this option here. I'm gonna take it. How's Reese? He's fine. Had a rough night, but he'll recover. He's used to this sort of thing. He just needs a couple days to get back on his feet. That means no more excitement, not even a movie. Sorry to hear that, Dr. Kelly. I'm not gonna push Dr. Kelly right now. She scares me. Have any of you seen Stella since last night? Not since dinner. Hasn't gotten in touch with any of you? Nope. We have no clue where she went. It's not good. Haven't seen her since she ran off last night. I feel terrible. I should have done a better job warning her. Stella was practically banging down your door trying to get evidence of ghosts. I don't think you were going to be able to stop her. There was no way you could have known how she would react when she found it. I'm just gonna stay quiet at this point, because I feel like accusing Dr. Kelly of poisoning Rosalina is a bad move right now. I'm just gonna stay quiet. So, got your meds and your nest of pillows, a helpful friend by your side, and a cat to keep you company. Seems like you're all set. Make sure you do a whole lot of nothing today. I will. Bye, Dr. Kelly. Yes, thanks again for coming down to see us, Joan. Not a problem. I'd much rather she stay put than have to get in and out of cars. I'll call you later today and see how things are going. Hope the rest of the week is less eventful for the both of you. Bye, Rosalina. Make sure you stay and keep put and keep Pixel company, okay? Don't worry, Doc. I keep her warm. I'm helping, says the cat, and I love that. Dr. Kelly's features harden once again as she steps towards the door. And then she pushes past you to leave Oscar's house. Oh, let you kids have some space. Alexis, why don't you figure out a restful activity for you and Rosalina? Will do, Mr. Gutierrez. Brought some video games and puzzles from my house and some movies. Whatever you want to do, Rosalina. Oscar ushers you down back to the library. What's up? Is everything okay? Yeah, everything's fine, or at least much better than yesterday. Can't thank you all enough. I'd like to be as helpful as I can from here on out. Now that our little situation's dealt with, I'll finally have time to dig into the town archives. Our house was haunted because somebody was murdered there. The mine collapse the other night was at the site of a mass grave. The next research, maybe we'll be able to get a step ahead of the next crisis. Maybe we can actually preempt it. That is, assuming there's going to be a next crisis. Something tells me we aren't in the clear yet. Should compare notes. Not that I have any to start with, but if you know anything that might narrow down my research, could save me a lot of time. I don't think we actually know that much more than you do, but I've got some hunches. Can't help but feel like there must have been some inciting incident since everything started getting weird seemingly overnight. What that inciting incident was, or where to start looking for it, I have no idea, but something to keep in mind. If there's a root cause for all of this, hopefully there's a way to put the genie back in its bottle. I'm gonna do my best to figure out if there have ever been any similar events and whether there's anything special about Scarlet Hollow that might explain what's going on. We've been finding these weird stone seals. There was one in the mines and another in your basement. There might be more. These are those carvings you mentioned last night, right? I think there was something like that under my house all this time. I think someone must have put it there. Ooh. This gives me quite a few threads to follow. Thank you, Thyanel. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if you were right yesterday, Thyanel. But if there really is another one of those carvings in the clinic, which Should we warn Dr. Kelly? And she may have believed Oscar about last night, but I don't know how receptive she'd be if we told her there might be ghosts in her house. And even if she did believe us, she's stubborn. Shame she preemptively shot down our movie night. Would have been the perfect cover. After last night, I don't think there is a perfect cover. There's no way she's letting us anywhere near her house. If we're going to investigate the clinic, I think we're going to have to break in. No. Absolutely not. That's what Stella would do. She's been 3 for 3 this week when it comes to finding spooky stuff. She's also been 3 for 3 when it comes to finding her way into mortal peril. This is why we have to find her as soon as possible. It shouldn't fall on me to suggest we do something dangerous. I'm terrible at selling it. It's not that I don't think we should figure out what's going on in there. We just need to be cautious about what we do next. You don't want anyone to get attacked or possessed by any more ghosts, even if it is to help a friend. I don't know if we have time to play it safe. Just give me a day or two to do some research before you do anything rash, okay? We have a carving right here. Maybe studying it can give us some new leads. Not a chance. I know the ghost is probably gone for good, but that thing is evil, and if there's even the slightest chance that going back down there triggers something, it is not worth disturbing. At least not until we know more. My daughter's safety comes first right now. Finally have our house back, I am not taking any risk until we know what we're dealing with. No arguments here. I wonder if this could be the work of some sort of cult. You mentioned something like this at the library the other day. If there was a cult in Scarlet Hollow, I feel like I'd know about it. Look, I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there. Let's not get all satanic panic just yet. I know it's not looking unlikely at this point, but having lived in this town all my life, I feel like I would know if there was some cult that ran the place. Cult doesn't necessarily have to run the town to have had an impact here. It doesn't even need to be active. From what I gather, those carvings you've been talking about are old. Whoever left them here is probably long gone. Exactly, Yumi. Exactly. If you know about the cult, they're doing it wrong. I'll see what I can find. You never know. Make sure Pixel stays inside. He might get grabbed by ditchlings. The ditchlings are those things from the woods, right? With those faces? They snatch animals to do some kind of parasitic egg-laying thing, so unless you want one of those things to pop out of Pixel, you'd better keep him where he's safe. Will do. Can't imagine how devastated Rosalina would be if something were to happen to him, especially after everything she's been through. Okay. Well, whatever we're doing next, I feel like we're missing a vital team member. We need to find Stella and fast. I agree. We need her brazen energy if we're gonna do any serious sleuthing. Let us know what you find. I will. So that's Oscar. Any other ideas? Could check out the mines. I guess there's a decent chance Stella went to find your cousin. Can't say I get it, but it's definitely something she would do. Come on, I'll drive us. You follow Kanika to her van. It isn't long before you find yourself outside the Scarlet Mines. There's a small gathering of workers outside the entrance to the mines, picket signs in hand. One of these, I'm unhappy with the treatment I am receiving as a worker in the, I can't make out that word, mine. Better hours now or none at all. It's not weird to talk to them while they're in the middle of all this. Well, if it isn't the boss's cousin. How goes the strike? Miscalculated? Thought a kid losing her legs would push the folks over the edge, but guess the boss personally dragging these kids out of the mine left a lasting impression. People are calling the boss a goddamn hero. Calling Tabitha a hero? Really? We're there too that night. It's like everyone just forgot about how poorly she's been treating us. Or how unsafe the mines are. I can't go back down there knowing the rock over my head could come down any second. I value my life more than a paycheck. It's dumb luck she saved those kids. If she had any actual value, she'd come to the table and give us what we're owed. I know there's not a lot of us out here, but there's more of us at the diner. There's more of us setting up mutual aid. But once people see our follow-through, they're gonna join up. This is only the beginning. Let me know if there's anything the general store can do to help. Anything you can think of, we'll take it. Need all the support we can get right now. What are your grievances? We'd like competitive pay, 8-hour shifts instead of 12 or more, improvements to the sick day and vacation policies, and a thorough safety inspection before any of us step foot underground again. That collapse is way too close to the active mine for me to feel safe down there until I know for sure I won't wind up buried under 2 tons of rock. We want to change things. No reason we should be treated like we're a disposable workforce. If we're the ones making her money, we should be making money too, not just scraping by. Jesus, Tabitha. That's it. Look, I need to talk to my cousin. I'd be happy to pass along your demands. Sure, if you think you can get her to come to the table, can make a real difference. Just make sure you leave the actual demands to us. Okay. Have any of you seen Stella? She's missing. The YouTuber? She's the one in all the banned from property posters, right? Haven't seen her. Been out here all day, so we know she'd come by. Oh no, this isn't looking good. Make sure to keep an eye out. Okay, if I'm helping y'all out here, do you mind if I go talk to my cousin? Sure, go for it. I don't care if they're okay with you going in, I'm still not crossing a picket line. Besides, I don't think Tabitha would be too happy to see me. I'll just wait by the van while you go talk to her. See you on the other side. The industrial noises of the Scarlet Mine are only a little quieter than they were 2 days ago. The trailer that serves as Tabitha's office looms above you on the hill. Knock. You walk up to Tabitha's trailer and knock on the door. You wait for a moment. No response. You knock again. Oh, for the love of... The door swings open. Oh, it's you. Should I go? Yeah, try not to get yourself noticed. Okay, I want to see pictures, Yumi. Do you have a minute? It's important. I can make some time. Should I already said you could leave, Rodriguez. We'll talk more later. The door clicks closed as Rodriguez leaves Tabitha's office. Tabitha heaves a heavy sigh. Please, just forget you saw anything, okay? I can handle this on my own. Okay, hold on. People think you're a hero right now for rescuing Beck and Alexis from the mine collapse. I think the strike will just peter out on its own. They think I'm a hero right now? That's what I heard at the diner. Maybe you're right. Maybe that's why it seems like they have so little momentum. If that's the case, can't wait to see where this goes before doing anything. Might make things worse. Thanks, Thyanel. Also, your teriyaki chicken burger sounds amazing. I want it. I'm sure you didn't come all this way down here to talk to me about the strike. Why are you here? Don't get me wrong, it's nice to see your friendly face, but you shouldn't be up here. This is my battle to fight. Stella's missing. Been looking all over town for her. Don't have any leads. Tabitha groans. You don't think Wayne... And that's what I'm worried about. See if I can figure something out. Gonna keep looking for Stella. See you tonight? Let me know if you find her, okay? Don't want to sit around worrying about her all day. Tabitha's phone buzzes. I better get back to work. Stay safe out there, Thyanel. Call me if you run into more trouble, but please don't go looking for any today, okay? I don't need you going missing too. You leave the office, closing the door behind you. You find Kanika waiting for you outside. You don't look like you found any new leads. Feels like we've done our due diligence here. Come on, drive us back to town. We can figure out our next move from there. You basically open a book that tries to eat you, throw it on the ground, and set it on fire. Oh my god, I love that. Where to next? Go check out the church. The church? What, you think Stella decided to get religious all of a sudden? She seemed really shaken up. It's not unlikely. You're right. Stranger things have happened. Let's make it quick, though. I don't want him trying to rope me into some church event. Kanika leads the way, taking you up the gradual slope towards the church. Alright, where is that weirdo? My, 3 visitors at once on a Thursday! This is unprecedented. But there are only 2 of us. Oh no, were we followed by a ditchling? Were we followed by Wayne? What's up, old people? Oh, it's just Zane. What are you doing here? All the glimpses of death I've had in the past 2 days have forced me into the midst of an existential crisis, my dudes. I want to see if Faith held any answers for me. Alas, I have not yet found the solace I seek. Give it time, Zane. Sometimes it takes a while for the Lord to work his way into your heart. When he does, you won't regret letting him in. Be sure to look over those pamphlets I gave you. Of course, I'm always here if you need to talk. Sure thing, Pastor D. Peace, y'all. Anyway, we're looking for Stella. She wandered off last night. No one's seen her since. Starting to get pretty worried. Hope maybe you or Janie had seen her. Can't speak for Janie, but I'm afraid I've seen neither hide nor hair of Stella. I'd like to talk to my wife. She's just over by the alpacas. Though, Thyanel, I was hoping we might be able to talk in private. Why does it have to be in private? Personal matter. I'd rather folks not pry on this. I won't bite or anything, I promise. We can talk right here, right in the open. Guess I'll leave you to it while I check in with Janie. Yep, alpacas. Kanika heads off towards Janie and the alpacas, leaving you alone with the nervous pastor. I had a chat with the mayor yesterday. Heard you did too. So glad you came. I've never met anyone else who could hear them. You have no idea how long I thought I must have had some kind of insanity. I even thought at one point it must have been the Lord himself talking to me through them. But they never had anything insightful to say, so I was disavowed of that pretty early on. Whoa. Are you telling me you can also... Okay, I thought I was the only one. I guess the 2 of us are just kindred spirits. Are we sure we're actually talking to animals? And now that I know there are at least 2 of us, I have no doubt. Definitely been times in my life when I thought I must just be insane. But it's so consistent, and I've never exhibited any other signs of insanity. In my most doubting moments, I have considered the possibility that other entities may be using the animals to confuse my faith, but besides a particularly vicious hamster I had growing up, the most an animal's ever tried to convince me to do is give them more food. So I somehow doubt they're puppets for some otherworldly evil. Unless that otherworldly evil wants me to overfeed my pets. Is your gift why you got into the church? Yeah, hard to say. I was raised Baptist by 2 loving parents and was always interested in religion, but I've also always known about my talents, so I don't know what came first. If anything, though, I'd say I'm religious in spite of the gift. Hasn't exactly been easy to square this with a lot of the religious education I've had. For instance, a lot of religious leaders will tell you that only humans have souls. Well, you and I both know that's not true, though I suppose that gets into a whole different conversation about what exactly a soul is. But those are conversations I'm glad to leave to the scholars. I'm just a simple small-town pastor. I don't need to ask the big questions anymore. Just have to help people through their daily lives. Does Janie know? No, I don't believe there should be secrets between man and wife, so I'll have to tell her one day, but there hasn't been a good time yet. Building a life in Scarlet Hollow has been a difficult process. Last thing I need to do is add to the stress of her husband being some kind of circus act. Tulip, on the other hand, starting to have my suspicions she might also share this gift. There have been some particularly nasty rats in the church lately. She said some things that have led me to believe she might be able to understand them. He's interrupted by the sounds of a snapping twig and a high-pitched giggle, partly muffled by the underbrush at the edge of the property. Tulip, come out of there! You know you're not supposed to play in the woods. Tulip glances back into the woods, quiet as she hesitates. Tulip, are you going to be good, or are we going to skip story time tonight? Be good. You don't have to skip story time. I won't go into the woods, I promise. I know you won't, Tulip, because you know it's too dangerous for little girls in there. Why don't you go help Mama with the alpacas? It's just about time they got fed. You can give them hay. Tulip smiles broadly, seemingly excited by the prospect, and hurries off. Sorry, I have to have a firm parenting moment just then. Trying to run off into those woods a lot lately. It's really dangerous, even for adults. There's this massive trash dump not too far past the trees. It must be at least 50 years old. It's all grown over. It looks like it's part of the landscape. If you accidentally walk on it, you might find yourself falling into a hip-deep mound of rusty cans and broken glass. Oh! Tetanus Lake! Stella told me about it. Tetanus Lake? Well, that's an accurate name. Wonder if Tulip would stay away if I started calling it that, or if it would only make it sound more alluring. What were you saying about the church rats? Oh, yeah, the rats. So you and I are used to the sort of chatter we hear from wildlife. Usually nothing needs to be paid attention to. These rats... There's something so sinister about them. It must be huge, judging by the sound of them scurrying around in there. Tulip's never shown evidence of the ability before, never responded to the alpacas or engaged in conversation with birds. In retrospect, she could have been hiding it the way I did growing up. Because I know she's been talking to the rats. She calls them her friends and has been drawing all these pictures of them. Really ghastly things. Tried to bring it up with her, but she just gets this little smile and doesn't say a word, like it's her fun little secret. It's all innocent enough in the grand scheme of things, but I'm pretty sure they also live out in that trash heap. Ever since she started talking about her friends, she's been trying to sneak out there. I'm concerned she's gonna get hurt or catch some kind of disease. What have they been saying? They'd like to try to goad me into crying or becoming depressed. Watch me through unseen holes, make fun of me, try to figure out how to press my buttons. It's annoying, but easy enough to block out, especially when I'm praying. I don't think they're a good influence on Tulip, though. She's gotten quiet and secretive ever since she started talking to them. I need to think what they say to her when I'm not around to hear. Have you actually seen them? No, I don't need to. Lived in a dorm that had rats once. You never see them, but the church has all the signs of an infestation. There's no mistaking the sound of little creatures stampeding through the walls. I left out some humane rat traps, but they're too smart for them. All it's done is waste peanut butter. And I caught a possum in one, poor thing. Possums are never very bright, but at least I got a nice big scoop of peanut butter out of the ordeal. Has Janie heard them? Yeah, she's not in the church very often. Usually in town doing her jobs until late, and we spend our evenings in the house, just me and Tulip all day long. Janie knows Tulip made some strange little friends, but thinks it's an imagination game. I was hoping I could sort out the rat issue before she could get suspicious, but they're persistent, so I may have to hire an exterminator if I can get the money for one. It doesn't have to come to that. Is there anything I can do to help? Maybe I could try talking to them? That would... And the game suddenly froze. Okay, that'd be lovely. I'd certainly appreciate a helping hand here. I don't want to be too much of a bother. You should probably finish looking for your missing friend first, but I'll be around. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Kanika walking back to the two of you. She must have finished talking to Janie. Janie says she hasn't seen Stella either, so we'd better get going. Hope your talk with the pastor went well. Yes, had a great conversation. Appreciate you all stopping by, even if it wasn't under the best circumstances. Let y'all be on your way. Hope Stella turns up soon. Put in some good prayers with the big man for her. Alright, thanks. See ya. Kanika starts back down the path to town, and you follow. Okay, now that we put some distance between us and the church, what did he want to talk to you about? He didn't say anything weird, did he? You know what? He can also talk to animals, just wanted to discuss it with me. Right, your weird animal thing. Can't believe that all the people in the world you could have shared that ability with, you wind up stuck with Pastor Daniel. Now, let's not get too distracted until we find Stella, though. Where to next? As you consider your next steps, you remember your appointment with Sybil. She seemed to be confident last night that Stella would be okay. Maybe she'll be able to help you find her. She knew about ditchlings, after all. She seems to know all sorts of things. And she'd never disparage your gift. Perhaps she's one of the few people in town who can truly understand you. We should talk to your mom. I'm supposed to have tea with her today. Sure, we can humor her. Probably gonna give you some rocks or bundles of herbs for protection or something, which might actually work. Who knows? Guess there's only one way to find out. The bells of the general store chime welcomingly as the two of you enter. Kanika, there you are. You're supposed to stay in bed today, remember? Hello, Thyanel. Hope you're sufficiently recovered from last night's fiasco. Sorry, Mom. It's just that Stella's missing, and Stella can take care of herself. Unlike you. You need bed rest and lots of fluids. You don't need to go running around town spreading that cold of yours. Go on, get up to bed. I'll be up in a minute with more tea. I thought you had some kind of important thing to talk to Thyanel about. I'm really feeling okay. I want to hear what you wanted to say to them. Just be doing a tea reading. Haven't those always bored you to tears? Okay, you're right. I'm not feeling well. I really should lie down. Bye, Thyanel. Kanika turns and heads towards the stairs without saying another word. Shall we? Sybil motions towards the tea room. Please have a seat. I'll bring you a fresh cup. You take a seat in the small table at the edge of the room. It's dark here. Only a sliver of sunlight able to filter through the heavy curtains, supplemented by the bright grow lights over the plant in the corner. It's castor bean, an incredibly toxic plant and strange for a tea maker to keep around her workspace. It's so pretty, though. Sybil joins you at the table and places a cup in front of you. It smells light and citrusy with an undercurrent of decaying earth. It's the same tea you sampled with Avery at the diner on Tuesday. I'll be able to do a reading once you're done. Until then, how about we just chat? So, how did you wind up in Scarlet Hollow? Oh, my family's been in these hills for a long time. That's how I know so much of the local flora. Everything I've learned was handed down from generations of hill folk. Hasn't always been a reliable doctor up here, especially not one most folks could afford. Have to figure out their own medicine. The other day you promised to tell me, what was it, unsavory tales of my mom's youth? I most certainly did, though. Might have been exaggerating a bit for dramatic effect. I'm prone to do that. In a town this size, you get to know everybody, no matter what the age difference might be. Vivian was a little younger than me, which meant I always had a certain older sister instinct about her. Her family wasn't good to her. Pearline was a lot like your great-grandmother, Edwardine, which is to say, not a very kind woman. Similar to Tabitha, but with more social grace and considerably more hatred for her fellow man. Your mother wasn't a shrinking violet either. She was just as stubborn as any other Scarlet, so her family choosing her as their punching bag made her into quite the rebel. Why were Pearline and my mom raised by Edwardine? What happened to their mother? Their entry into this world was violent, I'm afraid. Their mother was young, too young to be pregnant, especially with twins. She didn't survive the labor. What do you know about my grandma? I'm afraid there isn't much I can tell you. I think there were two in that generation. Eldest died when the girls were still children. Edwardine never spoke about them, nor did your mother. I feel like I know a lot about the women in my family, but what about the men? Did they even exist? I suppose they just haven't been very noteworthy since Edwardine took over the mines. Her husband died a long time ago. To be quite honest, I can't even recall his name. Might have been Stuart or something just as unforgettable. This is forgettable. From what Vivian said, her father was some kind of teenage fling that ended once her grandmother found out she was pregnant. Fairly certain it was similar for Vivian, though she was much older. I believe she was the one who ended it, what with skipping town and all. What happened when my mom found out she was pregnant? She came to me for advice. She was distraught. It's like she'd been handed a death sentence. Maybe it was fear from what had happened to her own mother. Maybe it was something else. She seemed convinced she was in danger. Tabitha had already been born by then, of course, but she was born in wedlock, so I assumed your mother's worries had something to do with religion. Though the Scarlets weren't particularly religious, as far as I knew. But the way Vivian was that night she came to me, stuck in my mind. Always had me wondering what it was about your family that made her panic so much at the thought of having a baby. Okay, what is with all of the mystery and ritual? If you have something to tell me, just come out and say it. I'll need your tea leaves first. I have pieces of the puzzle, but the tea leaves should help to give me the full picture. I'm suspicious, but okay, let's drink the tea. You take the tea, sipping it delicately. The citrus smell is fleeting, quickly replaced with the earthiness at its core, like you've taken a mouthful of dirt. The aftertaste combines the two flavors into something soothing and medicinal. You find yourself feeling more comfortable, your muscles relaxing for the first time in days. Tea is gone before you know it. The small cup empties, save for what's left of rehydrated leaves coating the bottom. Oh, good. Glad you found the tea palatable enough to drink. Should do you some good. It's one of my more medicinal blends. Now, on to business. Sybil takes the cup from you, staring thoughtfully down at the sludge. Oh dear, this doesn't bode well. You've got just about every warning that can fit in the bottom of a cup. Cross, kettle, hourglass. All these mean death, misery, and difficulty. Hourglass ties it all together with definite urgency. Fair to assume this all has to do with whatever brought the ditchlings. Something's coming. Whether any of us can stop it, I'm not sure. May at the very least be able to figure out what it is. And there's a central figure here. A cat. Enemy lurking in plain sight. How do I know you're not the cat? That's ridiculous. Sybil's helping you. If she was the cat, why would she warn you about herself? Pick someone else. Cat could be Wayne. He says he's my friend. I'm not sure that's true. It's not. Don't trust a word out of that man's mouth. I doubt he's the cat. The cat implies a certain level of two-facedness I don't think he possesses. You don't have to figure out an answer right away. It often takes time for the mind to connect the dots. Just be on guard, keep vigilant that someone close to you isn't to be trusted. You know from the ditchlings that something terrible is coming your way. It's likely that it's connected to some hidden enemy. Perhaps we could try to counteract whatever might be planned for you. Judging by what you told me last night, the stones, carvings, seals, whatever you want to call them, I think it's likely they have something to do with this. Until the cat reveals itself, it seems like your best course of action is to seek these carvings out. Piece together what you can from your visions and arm yourself with information. Have you sensed any others in town? Do you think you might be able to find another? Your thoughts drift to that door yesterday, the one that seemed to draw you in, urging you deeper into the clinic. Even just remembering it is enough to tug at you, compelling you to return and open it to see what's on the other side. You can find Stella later. Maybe you can even find her there. What's important now is finally seeing what's hidden in the clinic. But bad stuff always happens around them. What happens around these stones might not be anywhere close to what could happen if we let the danger encroaching on you, both you and this town, act unopposed. Ditchlings are multiplying every day. It's not going to come to a head. It may just be a question of how prepared you are when it comes. Learning whatever you can could save your life, even if you're faced with more ghosts or ghouls along the way. I think that's all the help I can offer. I hope this conversation has been illuminating, even if it just brought up more questions than giving any clear answers. You helped last night. Why don't you come with me? I may have been able to see through that spirit's illusions. I'm not some kind of all-powerful entity. I'm an old woman. I have trouble with my knees, and my eyesight isn't what it used to be. In most situations, I'd be more of a liability than a helpful companion. Imagine if I'd been in those mines with you. Some use I'd be, struggling to climb over rocks and ladders, throwing my back out from all the crouching. Uh, thanks. I'll let you know if I find anything. Glad to hear it. Hope all goes well. Wish you luck. Hopefully you won't need it. Thank you again for humoring an old lady and stopping by for a chat. With a small grunt of effort, Sybil gets up from the table. You're escorted back to the door. And remember, be careful who you put your trust in. According to your tea, the cat is getting ready to pounce, and merely being ready for it might not be enough. Sybil closes the door to the tea room. The bells of its door are strangely flat in the stale air of the near-empty general store. Let's check in on Kanika. You're not going anywhere before checking in on Kanika. You make your way upstairs. Knock. I really don't need any more tea. I think I'm just gonna lie down for a while. I'm not your mom. Oh, Thyanel, what's up? Can I come in? Sorry, Thyanel. Mom was right. I'm exhausted. Probably shouldn't push it. I'll wind up worse off tomorrow. Looks like you're on your own. Make your way out of the general store and down the road to the clinic. Make your way up the familiar hill, past the rows of ragged houses that make up Scarlet Hollow's residential area. It isn't long before you find yourself outside Dr. Kelly's clinic, its secrets enticing you to find a way in. Even at the bottom of the hill, you can already feel the presence. It's like a magnet's been fixed to your rib cage, gently tugging you forward, guiding you towards whatever emits this compulsive frequency. Ask a woodland creature how they'd get into the house. Quickly glance around, eyes trained on the underbrush. A flash of striped tail grabs your eye immediately. Can I help you, Buster? Hey there. If you were trying to break into that house at the top of the hill, how would you do it? What, just because I got little hands that go through people's trash, you're supposed to know how to break into places? There's a hill to take you right up to that big flat roof thing. Sometimes the humans leave windows open there. I go inside. Don't tell him, okay? I like to sleep in that big piles of cloth. One of my few joys in life. He leaves you as you turn back to look at the clinic. You have your way in. Make your way up the hill and onto the terrace. Let's see what happens. You're pretty sure you can make the jump to the second floor, at least with a running start. You make your way up the hill and bend your knees in anticipation. Then you jump. You land and try the door. It's unlocked. The upstairs of the clinic feels like a decommissioned museum. Old furniture is covered in plain white sheets, and a thick layer of dust coats the floor. This place hasn't seen any use in years. You're in the clinic, free to explore as you please. Or rather, you're free to explore as you please. You can feel that odd sensation again, the nagging pull of whatever it was that wanted you to find it. You've been caught by its gravity, an overwhelming curiosity guiding you around a corner, towards a dark doorway under the stairs. It's been left ajar, as if inviting you to enter. The lights click on. You're in the morgue. Thyanel, what are you doing in the morgue? Hi? Hey. Sorry, this must look kind of weird. I promise I'm not secretly dead already or something. Sometimes I just come down here to practice. Rehearse. Rehearse, you say? Good one. His words seem distant to you. The tugging is strong down here. You can almost feel yourself slipping into a trance. Your eyes wander to look at the back wall of the morgue. You need to see what's back there. You touch the wall. It feels disappointingly solid under your palms. Hey, you okay? You feel Reese's hand gently shake your shoulder, and for a moment, the thing on the other side of the blank wall loosens its pull on you. Kinda look possessed for a second there. You good? Make him understand. There's some kind of magic shit going on, man, but it's telling me I need to get behind the wall. Reese glances back at the wall. You're really serious, aren't you? This is probably a bad idea, but if you really need to get in there, pretty sure there's an emergency exit somewhere upstairs. Just need to get the doc out of our hair. It should take 2 seconds. Get the doc out of our hair? Yeah, if I say I'm sick and need something, she'll drop whatever she's doing and do it for me. Surefire way to get her out of the house. And most of the time it's true anyway. Doesn't that make her worry about you even more? And nothing I can do at this point to get her to stop worrying about me. Might as well use it to my advantage when I can. Sounds great. Lead the way. Sweet, be right back. He strides past you, long legs moving swiftly. He seems excited, his usual dour demeanor replaced with an uncharacteristic pep when faced with the prospect of sneaking around and tearing down walls. You hear his soft voice filtering through the open doorway at the top of the stairs, hoarse, sickly edge added for effect as he speaks to his mother. Hey, Mom. He coughs gently. Reese, I didn't know you were awake. I still feel like shit. I think I could finally try to keep some juice down. Looks like we're all out, though. Really? I thought I'd just pick some up. I've got an errand to run on Main Street anyway. I'll go pick up some orange juice and some ginger ale. It'd be awesome. Sorry to ask. I know you're probably busy. No problem. It doesn't take long. Don't do anything too strenuous while I'm gone. Just lie in bed until I get back. Thanks, Mom. Take it easy. You hear her footsteps move down the hall, then the front door opening and closing. Worked! Theatric rasp has left his voice, excitement rising in its place. Come on up, we don't have long till she's back. As you step out of the morgue, you relax. The extra space between you and the carving has weakened its hold on you, and with it, your desperation to claw your way through the wall and unveil it. It's one of those emergency fire axes. Should be pretty obvious wherever it is, though I'm not sure where she would be keeping it. I'll show you around. Let's try the doc's office first. You make your way to the doorway of her now vacant office. I don't see an axe in here. He's right. A cursory glance reveals nothing but sacks of paper and cabinets full of medical supplies. Something on the desk catches your eye, some sort of records, with your family's name on them. You're a fast reader. It shouldn't take you long to skim these. Reese stops in the doorway, turning to watch you leaf through the documents. Find something interesting? They're your family's death certificates. Her land's death certificate. Cause of death, sleep apnea, discovered by her daughter, Tabitha Chrysanthemum Scarlet. No autopsy performed. Tabitha's middle name is Chrysanthemum? Wonder who cursed her with that mouthful. I feel like that was forbidden knowledge. Edwardine's death certificate. Edwardine Scarlet, born April 9th, 1913. Died February 12th, 2003, aged 89. Cause of death, heart failure. Signed by her granddaughter, Pearl Scarlet. Pretty normal. Almost made it to 90. Died of normal old person illness. Enoch's death certificate. Enoch Scarlet, born September 9th, 1887. Died August 20th, 1957, age 69. Cause of death, fall from cliff. This one has a coroner's report attached. Organ sustained impact injuries, lacerations to the neck and body consistent with fall from great height. Whoa. Actual autopsy report. Looks ancient. There are other death certificates? You quickly flip through a few of the other Scarlets whose names aren't quite as familiar. Theodore Scarlet, born May 24th, 1890, died 1918, age 28. Cause of death, crushed in mine collapse, body not recovered. Signed by his brother Enoch Scarlet. That's right, you had a great uncle who died in the collapse. Joseph Scarlet, born April 1914, died June 7th, 1944. Louis Scarlet, born August 1920, died June 6th, 1944. Both killed at Normandy in the line of duty, must have been Edwardine's brothers. Certificate of fetal death, infant boy, Andrew Charles Scarlet. Delivered April 3rd, 1945, stillbirth, mother Edwardine Scarlet. Cause of death, complications during birth, no doctor present, home burial. That settles the question of whether you're related to Charlie. Alexandra Scarlet, born December 12th, 1947, died August 20th, 1957, age 9. Missing, presumed dead, signed by mother Edwardine Scarlet. She went missing the same day Enoch died in a hiking accident. Mary Bell Scarlet, born September 3rd, 1946, died October 30th, 1963, age 17. Cause of death, complications during childbirth, signed by her mother, Edwardine Scarlet. Wow, a lot of kids to outlive. You turn around and leave the office. It's time to move on. A medical supply room is probably a good bet. Fire axe seems like something might be useful in a room full of chemicals. Just down the hall. There it is. Looks like it needs a key, though. Better not break the glass. Rather explain why I had to steal the axe after we've had a chance to use it. Must be a key in here somewhere. He stops as if listening to something you can't hear. Shit, she's back already. As if on cue, you hear the front door to the clinic open and close, the creak of its antique hinges echoing down the hallway. Footsteps start down the hall. Just head this way, quick, gotta hide, I'm not supposed to be in here. He opens the closet door and hurriedly motions you inside. You slip past him, scrunching into the small space as best you can. He attempts to slide in after you. Let him in. You make space, he slips in next to you, closing the door just enough that you can both still monitor the entrance to the supply room. Dr. Kelly storms in, plastic bag in tow. She takes something out of the bag and places it on the counter. And then she hurries back out, bag rustling as she makes her way back down the hallway. Wait a second, just in case. Quietly wait for the danger to pass. Two of you stand in tense silence, both crammed into the suffocating closet, taking shallow breaths as if she could hear you breathing from the other side of the building. The footsteps soon return. Dr. Kelly makes her way back towards your hiding place, creaking floorboards broadcasting her location all the way to the hallway just inside your hiding spot. His head swivels suddenly. It's the door to the house. We're in the clear, let's go. Two of you spill out of the closet. Reese quickly and quietly starts pulling out drawers, scanning them for keys. You can't help but notice what Dr. Kelly left on the long steel table in the middle of the room. A sprig of small furry fruits. Castor beans. You've seen them elsewhere in town, but for the life of you, you can't remember where. Why did your mom get castor beans? Yes, found the keys! He holds up a small ring of keys with a strip of colored tape on the head. What's this about beans? Oh, those weird little fruit things? Reese unlocks the cabinet and offers you the fire axe. Here's your axe. And I don't know, never seen him before. Not allowed in the supply room. Probably some kind of medicinal plant, right? She took out a chemistry set too, though come to think of it, she's not supposed to make medicine, she's not a pharmacist. This room is just for storage for the orders she gets from a pharmacist over in Brevard. Why would she bring something like that in here? Castor beans make ricin. It's a poison. She's not making it though, right? Why would she make that? She's a doctor. Let him draw his own conclusions. Maybe she has some kind of information on it lying around here somewhere. Drawer over there's locked. If I were information on some mysterious alien-looking fruit, I'd probably be in a locked drawer, right? I think I already have the keys. He unlocks the drawer, pulling out a notebook. This is about me. Stuff in here from when I was like 12. Some kind of diary or medical history or both, I guess. Hell is this? Something about another episode, guessing she's referring to one of my rough nights. Oh, here we go. There's some illustrations and... He glances to the strange plant on the countertop. It's... those beans you mentioned. She uses them to make my medicine. That's poison, right? He jerks his head towards the door. Shit, that was the door from the house, we gotta run. Follow Reese's instruction, once again starting down the basement stairs, letting the pull of the stone carving guide you back to the morgue. Dr. Kelly's voice filters down from above. I was right, we did already have juice. It was just in the back of the fridge, but there's no harm in having extra. What are you doing in the clinic? I thought I told you to go rest. Oh, just gonna chill in the morgue. Got my speakers, so if you hear some weird sounds, it's just my music. Be sure to put in earplugs to drown out all that industrial clanging you listen to. You know I'm not the biggest fan of you spending time down there. It can't be good for your mental health to hang out in a refrigerator for corpses. You at least have a blanket this time. Yeah, I'll be fine. It's just a change of scenery. My room feels too claustrophobic right now. Okay, let you know when it's time for dinner. You don't have to do that. I'll grab something from my room later. Sure, whatever you're able to do. You hear the door close and the sound of Reese descending the stairs to join you in the fluorescent lit room below. Hey! Uh, you've listened to music that sounds like a wall being broken down? Of course I do. I'm sad all the time. Glad my taste in music's finally coming handy. It's exactly the cover we need. Stop asking questions. It's time to see what's on the other side of that wall. May I make the first blow? Sure, wanna get in a few after you. Got some confused and angry feelings I'd like to work out. That is fair. You approach the far end of the morgue, axe practically singing through the air as you strike the wall. The first cut offers a surprising amount of resistance. There is some structure behind it, some wood frame holding it in place, trying to stand between you and what waits for you on the other side. You stagger back from the massive hole in the wall and admire your effort. Holy shit. The splintered edge frames a dark passage, seemingly cut deep into the side of the cliff, cold seeping from a forgotten place into the already frigid morgue. Reese coughs as he takes a better look at what lies beyond the wound in the wall. There's a whole hallway back there. Thick, stale air leaks from the hole, filling the morgue with an earthly mildew smell like the room is slowly filling with dirt. With the stench of the grave-like room beyond comes an even stronger compulsion. You step forward, and you climb into the hole. This is wild. I had no idea any of this was here. An entire hospital wing rotting away for decades behind some flimsy drywall. His voice sounds distant. Your sole focus is finding it. Your feet move without prompting as you stumble down the hallway towards the far wall, barely registering the antique clutter as you stagger past it. Whoa. You okay? You don't respond, and you don't bother to retrieve the axe. The wall is rotten, water damage having eaten away at the wood over the course of unknowable years, the planks nearly reduced to sawdust. You tear into it. Enoch, thought you weren't going to come. I was worried you'd leave me here forever. They said there was nothing they can do. Well, I'll never use my legs again. Enoch, what am I gonna do? Calm down, Teddy. These doctors don't know what they're talking about. I'm doing my own research. I found us an alternative. You won't have to worry about anything from here on out, I promise. I want to talk to the witch. A witch? That's nonsense. It's alright, it's all sorted. We're taking you home today. Everything will be resolved by this time next week. Everything goes black. Your vision swims back into focus. It takes a solid second or two to reorient yourself. You're in an unfamiliar bed. Reese leans against the far wall, eyeing you with concern and curiosity. Hey! I was worried you slipped into a coma or something. Tore down a wall like a wild animal, found some weird carving and collapsed. Think you might have had some kind of seizure? You okay? Wait, nothing spooky happened? The mountain didn't collapse on us? No ghosts? Nope, nothing. Just fell down, twitched a little, and when you seemed stable, I carried you back here. It was a few hours ago. You don't have the kind of muscle mass required for that. Huh? Why would I lie about that? I just picked you up and carried you back. It's not like I had to go very far. Does Dr. Kelly know I'm here? No, snuck you back into the house while she was busy in the medical storage room. Figured you wouldn't want to come to in the morgue. I had a vision? Like a hallucination? I have those sometimes too. Used to have them a lot as a teen. Always little weird things, like my hands would look wrong, or my neck would seem too long, or the room would feel smaller. And I think these are visions of things that actually happened. Whoa. Wonder if you'd seen anything else if you went back in there. Or if there were more around town. Maybe if you collect them all, you'll finally unravel whatever the big mystery is. Seems fun. So, what now? Might be stuck down here for a little bit. Doc is on the warpath up there. Refused to take my medicine. She is not happy about it. I'm sure you can understand why. No one's gonna take anything she gave me. She's been poisoning me for years. But thinking about what you said at dinner last night, I don't see another possibility. It's only been a day since I stopped taking my pills. I feel great. I went ahead and blocked my doors so she can't get down here. Now we just have to wait her out. I don't get why your mom would poison you, though. I don't know. But it's all in here. She never outright says that's what she's doing. And the recipe she came up with is to deal with my flare-ups, whatever she thinks those are, involving that weird plant that was on the counter. It's castor beans. You were right, and ricin poisoning matches up with quite a few of my symptoms. The thing I can't figure out is whether she's been trying to kill me slowly, or if she just likes keeping me sick enough to be dependent on her. Either way, I don't think I've ever had an illness. I think the illness was me growing up and becoming less easy to control. Should have found a cure for that. Ricin's really bad. How are you not dead? I don't know. Maybe it's low enough doses, or maybe I developed a tolerance. I think the fact I feel more and more alive by the minute is enough proof that she was keeping me sick. I don't even need solid evidence. We need to get you out of here. Who knows what she'll do when she finds out what you know? Where would we go? The only person I know who has a car is Kanika. She's not answering her phone. I don't know anyone else. I don't have any other family to go to. I never even finished high school. When I get out of this house, I don't know how I can make sure I don't wind up right back down here. And stay with me if you want. Hold on. One step at a time. Let's start by waiting out your mom and getting out of here. I shouldn't call her my mom. As far as I'm concerned, she forfeited that title. I don't even think I should call her doctor. She's just some woman now. I'll wait for her to be in the rearview mirror of the rest of my life. See if we can wait her out. If she doesn't fall asleep by 10, we can figure something else out. These windows are supposedly shatterproof, which she always said was for burglars. Now I assume it was yet another way to keep me boxed in. But we could try to break them anyway. Distraction seems like a good idea, so you could probably tell I am getting a little jittery. Maybe it's a lack of poison in my system for the first time in years, or the fact that my whole perception of reality has been turned on its head. Probably a combo. It would obviously take more than a day for ricin poisoning to be out of his system. Doesn't feel awful, to be honest. You know, you could always draw me. If you're sure you're okay with sitting for a portrait, I'd love to draw you. There's a quality to drawing that's almost like catching memories, as sappy as that probably sounds, but this could be a sort of snapshot of the night my life turned around. Definitely a memory worth holding on to. I'll get you a chair. He excitedly hurries across the room, pulling up a couple of chairs. You can see the difference in his energy now that he hasn't had his daily dose of poison. He's more talkative, less slouched, his long limbs no longer perpetually tucked in at his sides. May I touch your face? You don't need to. I know my best angles. Hold on. Wait, take his hand. You reach forward and take his hand. He tenses, eyes locked on yours. You can feel his pulse in the delicate wrist, fast and nervous. Never mind. He hesitates, staring into your eyes, his icy blue irises shining slightly in the dim basement. He reaches out again, his fingertips resting lightly against your cheek. He leans forward. There's a knock at the window. Thyanel, don't get any closer to that thing. It's time to go home. Hi, Wayne. What are you doing here? Why are you here? I am very concerned right now. Why is he here? That voice. I know that voice. Is that who's been following you around? Without another word, Wayne starts pounding on the supposedly shatterproof window. Enemies upstairs, enemies outside. We're surrounded. Even if I get out of this house, I won't be safe. You won't be. Wait. What do you mean? Wayne is a gonna hurt you. He technically... Hold on. Why did he call you that thing? Because he's some kind of monster and he wants me dead. Can't you feel that? The murderous intent is practically oozing out of him. I'm not weak anymore. I can fight back. Don't have to cower in fear from the people who want to hurt me. I can protect both of us, Thyanel. The window shatters. Oh my god! As Reese tears at his clothes, paint bubbles out from the canvases, his ghoulish figures peeling themselves out of their two-dimensional worlds, invading yours, crawling up the walls. Grab my hand, I'll pull you out. Leave us alone! In a surge of violence, the change that is brewing inside of Reese finally comes. As it manifests, the broken basement window is sealed off and Wayne along with it. Reese? The fuck? I'm scared to move right now, in all honesty. We're gonna save right here real quick. I'm legitimately scared to move. We aren't safe, but I feel strong now. I think I could save us. Stay here, I'll be right back. I just have to deal with the doc. Reese storms up the stairs, leaving you with his smears. Yeah, I'm starting to think that too. You're not sure who to help. You know what, let's try and warn Dr. Kelly, cause I don't know what to do at this point. You know what, let's just follow Reese and see what happens. You make your way to the door that beckoned you yesterday, all intrigue now washed away. You know where it leads, you know what secrets the stone that lurked in the forgotten basement of the clinic had to share with you. Now the clinic holds a new horror. Somewhere beyond the narrow hallway leading from the house proper into the doctor's office, there's a monster preparing to do something unthinkable. You grasp the handle and turn. Doc! Doc, you do as she says, ducking out of the way. She shoots. The gun isn't very loud. There's only a pop as the projectile leaves the barrel, whizzing through the air. You turn and see a dart embedded in Reese's chest. He pulls the tranquilizer dart out from between his ribs, heaving heavy breaths as the drug courses through his system. You're going to have to try harder than that, you... No, how did you... As if you could hope to stop me, you pathetic waste of flesh. Before Wayne takes another step down the stairs, paint flows out between the cracks in the wood. Reese is panicked, pulling in a mob of furious smears to hold his enemies in place. The artist darts away, but the smears continue their work in his absence. Dr. Kelly makes her escape down the hallway, and Wayne is overcome, glued in place at the top of the stairs by stiffening globs of paint. Nearby room or Dr. Kelly? You know what? Let's go after Dr. Kelly. You run forward, braving the onslaught of the smears, dodging them as best as you can to try to see where Dr. Kelly went. The door in front of you is smothered in paint. Hey! Dr. Kelly's voice crackles out of some unseen speaker. You, Thyanel. I'm stuck in the safe room. I can't help you from here, but you can help the both of us. What, so you can keep poisoning him forever? Christ, is that how this happened? You helped him sleuth that out? Well, good job. Now you get to see why I would choose to give my own son lethal doses of poison every day. If I don't, he turns into a murder machine. I need you to get to the medical storage room. I'll give you further instructions when you're there. You turn back around and head to the medical storage room. Here. Great, now listen to me. I need you to use the black tip tea to get into the cabinet and bring me the elephant tranquilizers. It's a bottle labeled carfentanil? Bear tranquilizers clearly aren't going to cut it anymore. An intercom system, huh, Doc? Good. You should hear this. Thyanel, you don't have to do anything she says. I'm not going to hurt anybody else, just her. If I don't, you and I both know she's just gonna shoot me full of elephant tranquilizers. Did I hear that right? And shove me back down in that basement, or maybe someplace even worse, and keep killing me every day for the rest of my miserable existence. I feel amazing right now. Better than I've ever felt in my life. I'm not dangerous, she's just scared because she knows she has to finally pay for what she's taken from me. Okay, I'm torn, because on the one hand, I don't want her to hurt Reese anymore, but on the other hand, I don't want him to kill people either. We also have the option of summoning Wayne and seeing what happens. I feel like mild poison is the lesser evil compared to matricide. I kind of do too, honestly. You know what? Fuck, I'm not going to let you kill somebody, Reese. Why not? She wasn't afraid I might die. Does she know those tranquilizers aren't going to kill me? Does she care? Trust me, Reese, I've always been careful with your medication. I want you to live. I love you. Tell yourself whatever lies you have to, Mom. If you wanted a good relationship, you had your chance, and you decided to convince me I was dying instead of just letting me exist. Don't try to spin like some kind of crime of passion now that the consequences are staring you in the face. Enough. Reese cries out in pain. What the hell did you do to my shoulder? I'll handle it. Try to get somewhere safe until then. The two stagger off down the hallway. Quick, grab the tranquilizers, head to the safe room. You know what? Fuck it. Grab the tranquilizers. You do as she says. The tranquilizers are easy to find, marked with a small square of black tape to match the key. She's certainly an organized woman. The safe room we go. You make your way out of medical storage and back to the hallway where Dr. Kelly disappeared. As you approach, Dr. Kelly heaves open the door, slowly breaking apart the mass of paint sealing it shut. Hurry, I don't think I can keep it open for long. You slip past her into the safe room. She shuts the door quickly, though one of the little smears manages to slip past her. She stomps on it. Painted viscera splatters across the cement floor. Sounds like Reese and your friend are still fighting. Probably have a few minutes before it gets here. While we're at it, any other secrets you're keeping? Maybe, if you both survive, I might decide to share a few more. If you don't go tattling to anybody. What is this room? Old x-ray room, lead walls. After I realized this whole situation was a possibility, I had the door reinforced with the special remote-controlled locks. Glad I could finally come in handy. Let's talk Reese. Yeah, I bet you have some questions. Go ahead, nothing left to hide. When did you find out? A little after he hit puberty. Had all the usual changes, then a few extra. Thickened nails, sharp teeth, elfish ears. Figured he might have some kind of genetic disorder. I checked out at a few specialists, there was nothing obviously wrong with him. Then we had an argument, and he changed right in front of me. Nothing like what he is now, just a couple inches and some facial abnormalities. Enough to be noticeable. I was scared he could see that, and he stopped. I thought it was a one-off or maybe a hallucination. The second time it wasn't as subtle, didn't go away as easy. That's when I knew for sure this was something beyond my realm of expertise. How did he not know what he was? I've been medicating him since he was 12. Only had 3 incidents like this before, maybe 4, depending on what counts. This is the worst one. Doesn't seem to understand at first that he just looks different. I just make sure to stay on top of his dosages, so he rarely ever does. But I've been preparing for this inevitability. He's an adult now, only so much I can do to control him. Why did you start poisoning him? We stop calling it poison. Yes, it's poison, but the act of me giving him poison was not me poisoning him. It was medicating his illness. started when he was around 15. Been giving him increasingly high doses of clonopin, but his body kept adapting. His symptoms would come back, especially if he ever fought. Couldn't keep ordering all those drugs. It was already suspicious. I could risk losing my license, especially if anybody ever found out what I was using them for. Someone approached me with a solution. I took it. And I've been dealing with the emotional mental consequences of that decision ever since. Who approached you? What did they say? Dr. Kelly gives you a long, hard look. I don't want to talk about that woman. But screw it, I might die tonight. Sure, I'll tell you. It was... And that's all I have to say about that. Oh, that's weird. What is he? First I thought he was some kind of werewolf. But if he is, he doesn't follow any kind of full moon rules or anything. Silver doesn't do shit, and you see what he looks like. It's just weird. I almost wish I could examine him while he's fully transformed. It'd be fascinating to know what happens to him, or how his body does it. But he seems pretty hell-bent on ripping my throat out, so I guess it'll just have to remain a mystery. Was his dad similar? A strange little smile creeps onto Dr. Kelly's face. Wish I knew. It just kind of happened. I wasn't seeing anyone, just woke up pregnant one day. I know how impossible that sounds. I'm a doctor, for Christ's sake. Kept having these weird dreams, almost like sleep paralysis episodes. Romantic sleep paralysis episodes. They were actually kind of sweet, but they were just dreams. And all of a sudden my period stopped, I got morning sickness, and roughly 9 months later... Reese. Well, that's weird. The relationship between you seems so difficult. Yeah, I could say that. He was such a cute kid. Found out I was pregnant, I was terrified. Didn't know if I'd be ready, but he made me love being a mom. Not like it was gonna be sunshine and roses forever, no matter what. Kids grow up, they change, sometimes for the worst. This is part of being a mom too, doing what you can to make sure the child you brought into the world isn't going to go around eating people. How do you know that he's dangerous? Well, he wants to murder me, so that's clue number one. Not like he's usually a violent kid, mostly just sad, but every now and then we butt heads, and that's usually when this side of him comes out. Imagine if this happens anytime he gets frustrated with anyone. Imagine he gets road rage one day, turns into a 12-foot-tall monster with a million teeth, and rips somebody apart in the middle of a major metropolitan area. Yeah, he's dangerous. He's been kind to me. Yeah, and Ted Bundy was kind to people he picked up off the side of the road, then he slaughtered them. He's a really sweet kid most of the time, but I can't let that overshadow the violence he's capable of. What's the game plan? Both short and long term. Well, pump him full of elephant tranks, then I lock him in here, then I somehow convince him to see things from my perspective. We all live happily ever after. Has that worked before? He's never known the exact nature of his condition before. Maybe it was a mistake to hide it from him. I thought it meant he could feel like he had more freedom, not knowing that if he just stopped taking his pills, he'd become big, pointy enough to kill me. I'm gonna have to revoke some of those freedoms now. He's not gonna like that, but I think he'll understand, even if it takes time. I don't think he wants to hurt people. He just can't help what he is. You and Dr. Kelly sit in silence and wait for his son to make his way to you. The sound of distant breaking glass cuts through the silence of the clinic outside the safe room. Shit, this might be game time. Dr. Kelly opens the door. The two of you stare out into the hallway. Oh, there he is. Here come that boy. So Reese is basically a Jersey devil. Pretty much. Oh, that's terrifying. Is this what you were so afraid of? Get over the tranquilizers, this is our shot. You hand Dr. Kelly the tranquilizer darts. Dr. Kelly quickly loads them into her gun, leveling the barrel at her son. Sorry, Reese. Thyanel, I thought we were in this together. Thank God. Dr. Kelly sighs heavily, staring down at the warped figure of her son. I can drag him into the safe room on my own. Meet you at the front when I'm done. We return to the entrance of the clinic. Everything's quiet now. Only streaks of paint where Reese's minions had once roiled out of the cracks in the wood. I hope you understand this needs to stay between us. I don't care how much you feel like you need to share what just happened with other people. The more people know about this, the more trouble it is for me and for Kim. I don't need any more well-intentioned escape plans. Can I come visit him? As long as you don't bring anyone else along, yes, that would probably be good for him. Can't promise he'll want to see you, or that he wanted some harsh words if he does, but I don't want him to be entirely isolated. You think you'll let any of his friends in on this? I'll have to think about it. Run the risk of one of them trying to break him out, but if he's stuck in a windowless room with no internet and no friends, that's a one-way ticket to insanity. And I'd have an insane monster on my hands. Stella in particular would be a problem. That girl never knows how to mind her own business or follow other people's rules. She would have absolutely no fear of what might happen if he was cut loose. Kanika, I might consider. She's got a bit of a bleeding heart and some pretty inflexible morals, which could be a problem. On the other hand, I don't know how well she could keep a secret, and if Stella found out that Kanika could probably convince to do a jailbreak and then it'd all blow up in my face, probably tell I put a lot of thought into this. Same calculation I've been doing for years, debating whether or not I could be fully upfront with any of them, instead of just pushing them away and hoping they didn't notice what was really going on. She sighs again. Maybe I'll get him a kitten or something. Like they did for Coco the gorilla. Might as well give him a tire swing while I'm at it, some enrichment for his enclosure. That I have to do this to him. I feel so guilty. Join the club. But he was bound to figure it out sooner or later. I'm just glad there was an extra pair of hands around. It could have gone a lot worse. Since I'd love to stand around chatting, I have to get to work. Gotta clean this place as best as I can before tomorrow. Should probably get home. It's dark. I'm sure your cousin is worried about you. You don't wait to be kicked out, heading out the door to the clinic and into the dark night beyond. The night is oddly warm compared to the chill of the day. Crickets singing quietly in the sleepy little neighborhood. Everything that happened in the clinic feels almost like a dream, and now that it's over, you realize how little it meshes with your understanding of the world. Time to go home. But before you can get far, you're interrupted by the sound of panting and the telltale jingling of dog tags. It's the militia! They've poured out of the woods to stand before you on the road. You were looking for Gretchen, weren't you? We found her in a person. They're by the side of the road a little ways to the woods. They're both fine, but the human wouldn't leave when we tried to make her, and Gretchen insisted on sticking by her side, so we'll have to take you to them. Hopefully you can use your people words to get them to go somewhere safe. The woods are crawling with those awful creatures. It's not safe anymore, not even for a human. You are very, very good dogs. Lead the way. Yes, we are good dogs. Here, that's Scraps. I'm not in it for the accolades, Daisy. Just do it to help those who need it. You let the dogs lead you into the wilderness, following on their heels as they take you to Stella's hideaway. Before long, the trees thin, and you find yourself on a steep hill by a 2-lane road, lined on one side by sheer rock. There, sitting on a log, staring mournfully out at the asphalt, is Stella. There they are. Keep them safe. Seen you, Speaker. You sit on the log beside Stella. Thyanel, how did you... She looks over her shoulder in confusion. Is that a gang of dogs? So glad my compatriots could be of service. Simply couldn't survive another night without my nice soft bed. What are you doing out here? There was something I had to check out. Sitting here since last night, just waiting. Nothing happened. Probably just head home in not too long. What is this place, Stella? Why are you here? Stella faces you for a moment, desperate eyes trying to force out words a part of her thought she would never have to say out loud. Then she turns back to the road. It's where the accident happened. Parents died on this bend in the road. Taking me to college. Lying in the back seat. Just rained and the sun was finally coming out. Yep. I think I know what she's doing too now, and I'm sad. Oh! You know, I thought her parents probably died in a car accident. I didn't think she was in the car with them. But this explains why she doesn't like cars either. This explains so much, oh my god. Oh! Oh god! Oh, that's terrifying. Sorry. I know it's probably a bummer to talk about. It's awful. They messed me up for a while. I'm still messed up. Whole years of my life after the accident that feel like they just never happened. Like, every time I try and remember them, it's blank. I have all these videos sitting on my channel I don't even remember filming. It's scary. It hasn't been like that for a while. God. I've never talked about this stuff before. Anyone. Not even Tabitha? Not even Tabitha. Not for lack of trying, but I don't know, maybe I did something wrong. So much I don't remember. For all I know, I was terrible to her. The two of you stare out at the road. I think the accident's probably why I got into ghost hunting. I just wanted to see them again. Wanted to know whether I even could. Never found anything, so I eventually gave up. Then last night happened, and I ran out here to see if maybe it would happen with them too. Even if it meant seeing the crash again or seeing them all messed up and dead. I just wanted to see them. It's been a whole day. I think they're coming. Stella. Just because they weren't there doesn't mean they don't love you, wherever they are. It's a nice thought. Thought a lot about what might come after, whether they're somewhere else or if they just stopped existing. Guess we've seen at least some evidence of the afterlife. Hope that means there's a good version too, where they're still on that long car ride listening to Dad's tapes with the place in the back seat for me when I eventually catch up to him. And it won't matter, I never got to say goodbye. Could always say goodbye now. Stella sits in silence for a long moment, her breath slow and even. I can't read this. Oh my god. Wow. I was not expecting emotional trauma after potential physical trauma. Wow. Bye. I love you. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna be fine. She's silent again, as if waiting for a response. But it never comes. Oh god, Stella! You're gonna make me cry here. I am crying. God! But she smiles, a lively glimmer returning to her sad eyes. Kind of felt better. I don't think I realized how much I kind of trapped myself in my own head. Thank you for breaking me out of it. She straightens up, stretching her neck. Gretchen hops down from her lap, tags jingling in the quiet night air. I know that stretch! That's the time to go home stretch. Thank the Lord, I'll be sleeping in my own bed tonight. Thank you, Thyanel, for talking sense into this girl. I should probably head back, right? I haven't slept in a day. She doesn't need to hear about this tonight. You keep the events that transpired at the clinic to yourself, at least for now. I don't suppose I could ask you to walk me home? Sure. We're both headed that way anyway, but then I better get back home. Tabitha's probably worried. And maybe she's finally gotten used to you wandering off like this, but that doesn't seem super likely. So, yeah, she's probably worried. Okay, let's get going. She scoops Gretchen up under her arm, and the three of you make your way back down the mountainside, returning to the sleeping holler below. And this is me. You want to come in? Tip, dialogue options marked romance will start a romantic arc with a character you're talking to and will lock you out of romantic arcs with other characters. Here's the thing. I am torn. I am torn. As much as I want to go with this, you save. Turn, I really should head back to the estate. Tabitha's probably worried about me. Stella's expression sinks a little, though she tries to hide it. Oh, yeah, she probably is. Shouldn't have kept you out so late. Sorry. Hopefully she doesn't give you an earful because of me. I better get to bed. See you tomorrow. Thanks again for coming out there to find me. Didn't realize how much I needed to just talk to somebody. See you tomorrow. She gives you a tired wave before retreating into her house. I do feel kind of bad, but oh! Time for you to get home too. He appears as if out of nowhere, clothes streaked with what at first looks like blood and gore, but you quickly realize is paint. Evidence of his altercation with Reese. I'll walk you. Thanks. Appreciate the company, I think. Because, I mean, he didn't want to hurt me before, just... he wanted to protect me, so... thanks. Appreciate the company. Shall we? Wayne walks just ahead of you in near complete silence. Did you know Reese was like that? I knew he was different. How exactly, I wasn't sure, but now I know. I thought you wanted me to stay at the estate. Aren't you going to lecture me? You were free to make your own decisions, and those decisions have been made. I know that something pulls at you, and I know that now you cannot stop until your task is finished. I'll keep you safe while you do what you must. Why are you following me around? Well, why not Stella or Kanika or Sybil? Why not Tabitha? Because you're special. But why? Why am I so special? You simply are. Do you not feel the ties that bind us? They are unbreakable. Thanks for looking out for me tonight. Anytime you find yourself in danger, I'll be there for you. I will always be there for you. You don't need to keep coming up with new topics of conversation to fill the silence. You're tired, it's been a long night. You should rest. Wayne remains silent for the rest of the journey back to the estate. I'm sure we'll see each other tomorrow. You should try to spend some time in that old building before you head to town. Tabitha won't be around, too busy at the mines. Forbidden places won't be forbidden without her there to stop you. And you might be surprised at what you find. Till then, sleep well. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I honestly thought he was going to do something to Stella, but he didn't. And literally the only time he's shown up to do anything, it's been to, like, protect me. I'm so confused. He disappears into the underbrush. The estate feels empty. Wind howling through its abandoned halls, the very foundations creaking beneath you. Your cousin must have already gone to bed. Exhausted beyond belief, you stumble into your room and collapse on the bed. The damp smell of the mattress is starting to become almost welcoming. A sign that the now daily horrors of Scarlet Hollow are finally behind you, at least until the sun inevitably rises once again. You close your eyes, your exhausted body succumbing to sleep almost immediately. As you drift off, you think of Reese, trapped in that tiny windowless room, all his greatest fears realized, his body no longer his own. But you stopped him from killing Dr. Kelly. The world, at least for now, is protected from him. But then you think of nothing. This is the end of episode 4. Follow us on social media to stay up to date on the rest of Scarlet Hollow's development, and that is everything that we have access to right now from Scarlet Hollow. Congratulations! For finishing all the episodes currently available in-game, you've unlocked Hardcore Mode. Hardcore Mode allows you to select 3 traits of character creation, but you'll no longer be able to use your traits to avoid the consequences of major decisions. This penalty only applies to hardcore runs. Have fun, if you dare. If you'd like to continue with this world state in episode 5, please save your game now. We will save. Right here. And now, we are going to wrap stream up. Because it is time for us to do that. We're going to check out the credits first, though, because the folks who worked hard on this game deserve it, honestly. I didn't expect to cry either. Oh my god. I was not expecting that to get emotionally heavy. But here we are, I guess. The fact that there's a hardcore mode for this, though. Jeez! I was not expecting to be emotionally wrecked today. I was not expecting emotional wreckage. And yet, here we are. Okay. And I hate that on that note, that's how we're leaving things, but we don't have chapter 5 of this yet. So we're gonna have to wait a bit until we get chapter 5. But when we do, we are going to continue with that world state, so that's going to be fun. Oh, absolutely, Yumi. Absolutely. I don't know, Gailey. It's going to kill me a little bit too, just because this game is so freaking good. I would also encourage obtaining it yourself if you can, because it's really good, as you've seen. Plus, there are like so many different ways anything could go with this game, which is ridiculously fun. So I would encourage checking it out yourself if you have the ability to do so.